Stand up, New York Giant fans. Bad Dog, Saturday night, 48 hours before Monday.
Yes.
We're 2-0.
We're 2-0. We're tied for first place. That is correct. That is correct. We have the hated Cowboys on Monday.
Yeah.
As I said on Twitter, the only time a weekend is long is when the Giants play on Monday night. So we'll sit back and we'll watch all the other goings on in the NFL tomorrow. And then we'll await our hated rival where the Giants must make a statement in front of all the people, in front of America, and blast America's team out of MetLife Stadium in a whiteout. That's what has to happen.
I can't wait, man. Should be a lot of fun to watch the game on Monday night. Like you said, tomorrow will be more relaxing. You sit back, relax, watch the game, see how everything unfolds, and then we'll jump into our matchup. Dyer, thank you so much, man. I've seen some requests for this. Would you guys entertain the idea of adding a call-in segment, maybe a call-in system like Uncle Lou has? I mean, we could take callers on here. You don't even need to show your face. And maybe we will do that in the future, just maybe a little bit more organized, because I know when we do that, then you get 10 people that want to come on and they get upset if they can't all get on. But maybe we'll have 2 or 3 organized call-in guests for the show throughout the night. Maybe we will do something like that in the future, Dyer. Good suggestion. And maybe that is something that we will do in the near future. Just want to say hello to a couple people in the chat. What's going on, Dark Wolf, man? What's going on there? Anthony Raza, amazing guy in the chat. Alex in the chat. Papa Guccio in the chat. MVP in the chat. Of course, Dyer, Giants fan in the chat. We got Kalen in the chat. We got Bill M in the chat. Bad Dog had 1 or 2 pops. I don't know what that means, Bill M says. Maybe he thinks you're tired. No, what's going on, man? What's going on? Cup of tea, man. Thank you to everybody for being here. Word in the chat. Flip in the chat. Luann in the chat. Thank you to everybody for being here. Hopefully you guys are as excited as we are for the game on Monday night. Big move, man. Thank you very much, man. My boys are back together. Nothing like you two. We appreciate it. We appreciate all you guys. Thank you to everybody for being here. Bad Dog, before we jump into the show, just want to go over my new sponsor. Gonna have them featured on the channel for the next month or two. Met these creators, the app creators at FanFest. Actually, they came to me with what I thought was a cool idea. If you guys are interested, the link is going to be in the description below. The link is called Mojo. Just going to go over exactly what it is. Mojo is a sports stock market for who can invest in the players they love. So, Bad Dog, it's kind of like what you do with sports cards, but it's only that's basically what sports cards are. They're a stock market with cardboard. This is an actual stock market. You can go long or short on a player, and you were investing in their career. By long and short, they mean if you think a player is going to suck, like Kenny Golladay, you could short the hell out of him. Share prices are based on the field performances, and you could buy and sell anytime. Investing in what you know, what we love as Giants fans. Mojo is currently available in only New Jersey. So if you're in New York, you cannot use the app until such time it's legal here. You can still download it, like I did. I checked out the app today. So if you come to the game, go long on your favorite Giants or go short on the Cowboys. You can download the app nationwide to follow the market. Link in the description below. Before I share some of the share prices that I like, it's a reflection on what the app creators expect for the career of these players. So, for instance, Tom Brady right now is by far the highest priced stock. Right now he's going for $177 a share. The next closest is Pat Mahomes at $117 a share. So, maybe you want to find a rookie that you really like, that you want to buy high on, or find a veteran that you think is going to start to tail off throughout the remainder of his career you want to go short on. In terms of some of the prices that I like for the New York Giants, I mean, I'm going to short Kenny Golladay, Bad Dog. He's going for $804 a share. They don't use the guy. So I'd probably short Kenny Golladay at $804. Saquon Barkley's going for $1914, which is what I saw was like the 5th or 6th highest running back. I think he's going to be featured a lot more this season in the offense. He may be a guy I buy. So those are just some suggestions for me. If you're interested, go into the description below. Mojo is available, like I said, in New Jersey. Download Mojo now for your chance to win $10,000 in free shares of player stock. So I want to go over that real quick before we jump into the show. But thank you to everybody for being here. Thank you for Mojo for sponsoring the channel. Bad Dog, as we were saying at the top of the stream, huge game this week against the Dallas Cowboys. And the more I think about this game, Bad Dog, the more I think it's very similar to last week from a defensive standpoint. Because you've got Tony Pollard coming out of the backfield, very similar to a guy like Christian McCaffrey. I expect the New York Giants to come out with a very similar look. Last week, we had a lot of 3 and 4 safety sets. I think we're going to come at them in a very similar fashion defensively. And now we get Kayvon Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari back in the lineup. And that, I think, is what most Giant fans are most looking forward to week number 3 going up against Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, I've been looking forward to this. I mean, being a defensive guy and thinking Aziz was going to be the man this year, and Kayvon Thibodeau, the number 5 overall pick. Just looking at what Wing Martindale's defense has been able to do without those two guys, being able to stop them, maybe not stop completely, but slow down Derrick Henry. He wasn't able to beat us. Christian McCaffrey had one long run that kind of skewed his stats, but we pretty much kept him in check the whole game. And, Pollard is a nice back. They got a good backfield, but it's not like we can't stop them. We're not going against Dak Prescott. Cooper Rush does not scare me. Listen, I know the Giants cut him a couple of years ago, and you got to feel like crap when the Giants cut you and you see Jake Fromm out there getting minus 10 yards passing. You say, how the hell can I make this team? But as long as we can, I think it's going to be the same thing for both teams. They definitely want to stop the run, and they want to get the quarterbacks in third and long. In obvious passing situations, Cooper Rush has not seen a defense like Wing Martindale's, and the Giants can have a little film on Cooper Rush now, unlike the Bengals. With the Giants, obviously, we got to get in third and shorts. We have to keep their defense honest, because if anybody watched that game against Cincinnati and saw what they did to a guy like Joe Burrow, there's no way you can be a realistic Giants fan and not have worry in the back of your head that our offensive line can't hold up against their front 7 if it's 3rd and 9 all night long. Number 11 is going to be a pain in the ass. He's a great player. And if he lines up on the right side of the defense, the Andrew Thomas, Micah Parsons thing will be a lot of fun to watch. If he lines up on the left side, he's going against Evan Neal and a rookie, which scares me a little bit. So we have to be in third and manageables. We have to keep them in third and long. And it's going to be a low-scoring, ugly game the way we've won the first 2. Dallas has also played 2 low-scoring, ugly games, and they're 1-1. So I expect more of the same Monday night, but I want to win. I want to go to 3-0, and I want to beat Dallas's ass in front of the world on Monday. That's what I want.
And I think it's going to be a close game, like you said, just like our first 2 games. The Titans, we narrowly got out of there with a win. The same thing with the Panthers. Hopefully we can find a way to get a win in this game, but it's going to come down to making less mistakes. It's going to be basic. It's basic. We know going in what exactly it's going to be. I don't think the New York Giants are going to come out this week and open up the playbook because of the factor you just said, Micah Parsons. He's going to be matched up on Evan Neal. I have no doubt in my mind that the Dallas Cowboys are going to try to take advantage of that match.
They should do that.
So they're going to put him on Evan Neal. They're going to put him up against the right tackle. And the Giants are going to need max protection. They're going to need 2 tight end sets. They're going to need all the help they can get on that side. So we'll see if the New York Giants are up for the task. I'm looking forward to it, to seeing, what the offensive and defensive game plans are going to be this week. But I expect them to try to establish the run. Now you hear that Kadarius Toney is going to be out. Wan'Dale Robinson, we already knew wasn't going to play. So the wide receiving core, we don't even know if Galladay is going to play. Hopefully he does. Maybe Slayton gets some reps in this game because he is a vertical threat that maybe could, I could see a big player 2 in this game being developed by the Giants if the Cowboys try to get aggressive. We all know that Trayvon Diggs sometimes gets lost in coverage, but I think the overall offensive game plan has to revolve around Saquon Barkley like it has the first 2 weeks. And I know a lot of, people that want to see what Daniel Jones could do this year aren't going to want to hear that, but that's the Giants' best chance to win in this game without arguably their best wide receiver, with the offensive line not quite ready yet to hold up in pass protection, and going up against Micah Parsons. So not to mention, like you were kind of saying earlier, they don't have the best offense. So it's not like the New York Giants got to go out there and sling the rock. It's about winning the time of possession, not making mistakes, creating mistakes on the other side. I know it's a grind it out, type of philosophy, but in a game like this, I think that's the Giants' best approach, and that's what I expect them to go with, kind of like we've seen the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, again, Dallas is aggressive, especially a guy like Trayvon Diggs. And I think, again, the offensive line would have to hold up because it takes time for this play to develop, but you can beat him with a double move. Like Sterling Shepard gets lined up out there. He could easily do one of those little slant go type of things where he, fakes like he's coming back to the ball and then he takes off. You get Trayvon Diggs looking at the quarterback's eyes and get him to jump the route. You can definitely get behind him, but the offensive line has to hold up for that to happen. So the only way we're really going to be able to get some time is if we are able to run the ball. And, that's Dallas's number 1 goal. They're going to say, hey, we want Daniel Jones to beat us. We ain't going to let Saquon beat us. We do everything we can to stop him. So, again, I think both teams' philosophies going into this game on defense are the same. And I think both teams on offense are the same. So
very similar game.
I expected, 20-19, 20-17, 17-16 type of game. And hopefully it's Big Blue on top. I think we can get this one.
I think we got a shot. And whenever it's a close game, I'll take our kicker over theirs. I don't care who we're
Oh,
playing.
hell yeah.
Graham Gano's been phenomenal the last couple of weeks, and hopefully he can continue to put him through the upright if we need a game-winning field goal.
Yes.
John in the chat, he says, Stella and stand up, guys. I can't stand the Giants, but the Cowboys stink. Sorry you two are not Eagles fans because Kelly Green would look awesome. Not happening. But y'all are the best cheesesteaks for both y'all. Go Eagles. Hey, man, we appreciate it. Listen, I think you're Eagles. I hate to say it. You guys, we said it before the year started. We both agreed. You guys are the clear favorite in the division. And with that going down, I think it's even more clear that the Eagles should win this division. Now, of course, things happen from within the season. Long way to go. We got 15 games left. But right now, I think you guys are the clear favorite in the division. We'll see how the rest of the season plays out. But we'll see how we can do against the Cowboys. But, John, man, thank you very much. Tommy said, LT said he will be at the game on Monday to watch Micah. Just what we need. A double motivation. Micah, since we also passed on him, our run game is key. Yeah, I saw that, Tommy. I mean, I don't think it matters much. I think Parsons is going to be motivated no matter what. I don't think he needs Lawrence Taylor to get him a little extra motivation. But I'm excited for the game. I'm excited for the optics. As far as the run game, 100%, that's the key. We have to get in third and manageable situations. We have to keep Jones out of trouble. And Jones needs to convert, when he needs to. Third down conversion rate, right? That needs to be much better this game. Last week, we were 6 of 18. The time of possession, we dominated. We won 30. We won by 12 minutes, which was the biggest discrepancy we've had since 2019. So we really did well in that department, and it had a lot to do with the fact we created 2 turnovers early in the game, and we were able to, have longer drives in the second half. Our defense was phenomenal. We got off the field. We did a great job on third down. Baddog, I saw the numbers. Our third down defense this year, 5 for 23. Our opponents the first 2 weeks. That's
much better.
But insane.
Much better. And that goes back to stopping the run and making it obvious passing situations. And again, Wink has some complex schemes that I think the Giants can get a couple picks in this game. I think Cooper Rush could turn it over a couple times. We have done a good job of getting turnovers early on this year. We won the turnover battle against Carolina. And again, man, we're home. Wink was talking about how we got to get the crowd up. Listen, man, the crowd was loud against Carolina. What do you think is going to be prime time against Dallas? We freaking hate Dallas. Hate them. That crowd's going to be electric on Monday night, man. The stream is going to be electric on Monday night. And like I said, man, we win. We go to 3-0. I mean, we haven't been 3-0 since 2009. It's been a long time. Very winnable game. Giants got to just do what they've been doing the first 2 games. Get out of here with a W. Kick Dallas in the teeth a little bit, knock them down to 1-2. And again, I don't care. They can come out and, Giants are the worst 2-0 team ever. Yeah, I'd rather be a worst 2-0 team than a best 0-2 team. I can tell you that. Give me a win.
That's a
pretty letter.
The NFL is about surviving, advancing, and getting better over the course of the year. Trying to remain healthy throughout the course of the year. Don't care about stylish wins. This is not college football.
We're saying college, which Oklahoma's pissing me off.
A win's a win.
Freaking Oklahoma's losing to Kansas State again. Can't beat Kansas State. I don't understand what the hell the deal is with Kansas State and Oklahoma. I don't understand.
You guys are losing?
Yeah, they lose to Kansas State every freaking year.
Jeez. Rakib, people that say Mike is the second coming of LT have never seen LT play. I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, listen, in 10 years, maybe you could have the conversation. The guy's having insane year after insane year after insane year. But to start that conversation just a year into his career is just stupid. I mean, literally the greatest player of all time. Right. Lawrence Taylor changed the game of football. Micah Parsons has a long way to go before he even enters the conversation of that. Somebody told me on my stream today, Beto, you said it in your stream, made a lot of sense. Start comparing him to players like DeMarcus Ware, other New Dallas Cowboys.
Right. Can we compare him to guys that are good, that are less than Lawrence Taylor before we just go right to the greatest defensive player ever?
Yeah.
Can we compare him to a guy like Junior Seau to start? Can we get to Derek Thomas? Can we get to Ray Lewis? Can we move him up the ladder? You don't just walk into the WWE and you're the number 1 contender for the freaking strap. Like, that don't happen. So can Micah Parsons move up the ladder a little bit? Yeah, he's awesome, and he's a great player, and he's disruptive. Okay, and Taylor was like that. You always wanted to know where he was. I said this before. The best compliment I can give Micah Parsons is when I started watching the Giants, my dad said, watch LT, just watch 56. When I watch Dallas on defense, I only watch Micah Parsons. I don't watch anything else they do. I just watch him because he's fun to watch. He ain't gonna be fun to watch this week. Yeah. But I like I like defense, but he's not Lawrence Taylor, man. He's not. He never will be. You know, like Law Nation
Monday
said
night,
last night, let him be MP. Let him be MP.
We better know where he is on the field on Monday night.
Yeah, you got to know. I mean, you got to account for him. That's for sure. Because otherwise, your quarterback's going to get his head ripped off. But yeah, like Law Nation said last night, let the guy be MP. Can he be MP and not LT? Let's not do it yet. You know.
Yeah, exactly. He's got let him do it on his own. G Nation says, "Let's go." My 11-6 prediction looks great now. Let's go, G man. Good to see you, G Nation man. Yeah, you said that. I think on my prediction video, you commented. You said, "Chris, how's my 11-6 prediction look now?"
Well, we got a long ways to go. I hope it's
better. We're 2-0. It's looking better,
right?
But like Baddog said, we got a long way to go. I'm not going to get it. I think we both said 7 wins, right?
7, 7 and 10
at the start of the year. I am still. I mean, I really want to break the mold and say I think I'm expecting more at this point, but I still got to see him a little bit more early in the year before I'm starting to willing to change my trend. But I'm definitely leaning more towards potentially more than 7 wins this year. But
we got to win this game.
See how, it's one game at a time.
Make me a believer. We got to win the next 2 weeks because there are 2 games we should win.
Yeah. Yep. One game at a time. Let's beat Dallas.
But these are winnable games for us.
Yeah, because it's going to get tough after that. Then you got Green Bay, you got the Ravens. So let's take advantage of the games on our schedule. John says only Bill Belichick could name the next it because he coached him. That's true. And Belichick's been asked about that in the past, about what he felt about Lawrence Taylor, and he's given his truthful opinion. He said,
he laughed. I forgot who it was, and he just I don't know if they try to compare Aaron Donald to him or whatever. And
I think it was Donald.
He just said no. There's only one Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah, there's only one. There's only one. But this matchup we're going to see this week, though, we're going to see this matchup for the next 10 years. Evan Neal versus Micah Parsons, or Andrew Thomas versus Micah Parsons. Giants are going to have bookend tackles, and I can't talk enough about Andrew Thomas and the job he's done through the first 2 weeks, Baddog. You're talking about a guy that 3 or 4 weeks into his NFL career, people were saying he was the next Eric Flowers. You heard Giants fans saying that. Then you heard pundits saying a year after that he was the worst tackle in the draft class. Suddenly, the guy's the best tackle in football through 2 weeks. He's been incredible, the growth of Andrew Thomas. And hopefully that continues. But that's a huge sign for the future of this football team.
Oh, that's enormous. I mean, you get your quarterback's blindside protector. And when he was drafted, you and I were happy. And our reaction said so. And I know my reaction video. I said, that's the best left tackle on the draft. And I knew that I thought he was the best left tackle, because I watch him play at Georgia a lot. And I thought he was a pure left tackle. And his rookie season struggled. They all struggle. He had a foot problem. He was injured, but he played through it. And obviously the Giants had a lot of issues with Colombo and all this other crap, because I remember this is when everything started with Colombo, when the guy, that coach in terms of Georgia said, why the hell are they making him do something completely different? Why aren't they allowing him to do what he did at Georgia? And then all this turmoil happened. And, now that the offensive line, the Giants have kind of figured this out, looks like coaching wise, he's just allowed to do what he does. And that'd be enormous. If Evan Neal can, hook up that right side the way Thomas is locked down the left, we do have our bookend tackles. And then you build the interior. And
then you're looking like gold, man.
Let me ask you this, because someone asked this last night. This is a good question.
Yeah.
So they said, what if the Giants are 8 and 9 or whatever, something like that, and they're picking 16th and they don't want a quarterback? What's the position that you would take? What do you think they would do?
I'm going to tell you right now. And again, this is way too early to answer this.
It is, but someone asked.
I don't know what, players are what they're going to look like going into the draft. I don't know what the rest of our roster is going to look like. It's one of 2 positions for me, though. And again, it's all predicated on what we do in free agency as well. It's
who's available, but I position-wise,
it's for me right now. If you ask me today, because I'm still thinking about the future of this offense for sure. Because you're still, if it's not Daniel Jones, if you're sticking with Jones next year, you still have to think about improving the rest of this roster around Jones and the guy that could potentially replace him. And you look at our roster right now on offense, Baddog, and the interior line needs work too. That's something that I probably try to address in free agency as well, and maybe a second, third round. We need a wide receiver.
That's what I said. That was my pick too. I said we need a number 1 wide receiver.
We need a number 1 wide receiver because we don't have it on this team. You look at the wide receivers on this team right now, Baddog. Kenny Golladay is gone after this year. Kadarius Toney is a walking, talking injury.
He's probably gone too. They'll probably trade him.
He's a walking, talking injury. Let's just be honest about it right now. Wan'Dale Robinson I like, but he's not a number one. Hopefully he can develop into being a number two.
Shepard probably not coming back.
Shepard probably not coming back. So I think wide receiver, and on the other side, it's corner. I think it's one of those two positions, and it all depends on what you do in free agency. But if you said, Chris, we're not going quarterback next year, right now, where's your head at? It's either the wide receiver or it's the corner. I do think they definitely need to address getting a legitimate number one wide receiver on this football team, though. If it's not for Jones, for the future quarterback.
Yeah, that was what I said too, because I think the defense is way ahead of the offense. I don't think the offense has a major threat outside of Saquon Barkley, and I definitely think that that's what they would look. And again, it's way in. I just thought it was an interesting question.
Yeah,
and I was just curious what you go, but I said the same thing. I said interior offensive line, but wide receiver probably number one. But we got to work on the offense. I think it's still a work in progress. It's obvious.
Yeah, so. I think we need a weapon. We need a legitimate weapon, and that's something that hopefully they address next year, along with continue to fix on the offensive line. Relic says Bill Belichick said LT could play any position on defense and was the first linebacker to play gunner. Yes, I knew that. On special teams, LT was also a defensive coordinator that could draw up schemes on the fly. I remember I've watched several stories about Lawrence Taylor where he'd fall asleep in meetings, and Belichick would call him out, and he would just walk up to the chalkboard, and he would know the defensive game plan better than Belichick himself, and he'd just be bored at the meetings because he was that smart. He knew the game that well and knew what the Giants were going to do from the back of his hand. So. He's one of a kind, man. He's one of a kind, no doubt about it.
One advantage about being older is that, if you're my age or older, you got to see that guy play in his prime, and he was something. There's no words to describe how dominant Lawrence Taylor was. There's not
many athletes that you could say in any sport that changed the way the game is played. He's one of them. One of a handful in the sport of football.
Definitely.
Michael, man, thank you very much. Why did the Ravens let Wink go? Michael, the reasoning was, one, last year the Ravens defense regressed because they had some injuries in the secondary. Their defense was like in the bottom third of the league.
Bad.
But the other major reason, from what I heard, I'm pretty sure on this. Double check me, but I'm pretty sure on this. They brought over I think he was the defensive coordinator for Michigan University, who was coaching with his brother. So obviously there was chemistry there between the Harbaugh brothers, and he probably knew him, and he thought they had a good working relationship, and he was probably somebody that he thought he wanted to bring over with the Baltimore Ravens.
No, it didn't work last week when Tua throws for 469 and 6 touchdowns.
Last week, the Baltimore Ravens wish they still had Wink on the staff. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Did not work.
They made Tua look like Joe Montana. So
yeah.
That boy, man, thank you very much, man. Thoughts on Kafka's play calling so far? Good and bad. He's certainly not been perfect, but here's what I'm going to say, Baddog. One common complaint I've heard, and rightfully so, when you've seen people break down the old 22s. There was a popular video this week on ESPN from Orlovsky where he showed 3 or 4 reads where Daniel Jones completely missed. But to me, people look at that and they get pissed off. They get upset. And I understand that you want Daniel Jones to continue to connect on big plays. But the way I look at that, Baddog, when I saw that, I'm like, well, yeah, we need Jones to get better. And I think we all realize that it's at least a decent to strong possibility Jones won't be here much longer. But I look at that from an optimistic standpoint. I look at it like under Jason Garrett, we didn't have guys running wide open.
We did not.
Couldn't miss routes because they weren't open.
3-yard hook.
And in this scheme, there's 3-4 opportunities for huge plays that Daniel Jones missed on. We didn't have those opportunities before. So for me, that's a good thing. But in terms of Mike Kafka's overall play calling, like I said, some good, some bad. One that we got to talk about in the first half last week, Baddog, that we did not like. 2nd and goal at the 2, and a designed QB run for Daniel Jones. I
out of the shotgun, mind you.
He left points on the board there. You got to hand it to Barkley, or you got to do a play action bootleg or play action rollout from the 2, fake the run. But to do a shotgun snap, I don't even think Barkley was in the backfield, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember. It wasn't set up good, and I just you don't need to get cute down there. You have Saquon. Like I said during the stream, if you can't run him 3 straight times to get 2 yards, then you deserve to lose. I mean, you have to give the ball to your best player down there. You need to score touchdowns.
Yeah, and
he's our best opportunity to score touchdowns. So. Again, I don't mind that type of call at midfield or, in between the 20s or even inside the 20, but not when you're at the 2. I think you got to give the ball to Barkley down there. Like you said, you set up in a jumbo, like a goal line, and then maybe you can play action and hit one of your tight ends in the back of the end zone. That seems to work a lot. Those guys break free, act like they're blocking, and they slip off the block and they're wide open in the corner of the end zone. That type of thing can happen. But yeah, a shotgun, a direct, or a shotgun
It's
draw.
like you run out of the shotgun. I didn't like
it. I didn't like that call.
And the other thing I'll say though, Baddog, from a positive standpoint with Kafka, outside of the missed reads when guys were wide open, how about 2 of Daniel Jones' 3 touchdowns this year have basically been free touchdowns?
Yep.
You think about the touchdown to Bellinger off the RPO. There was nobody within 20 yards. Daniel Bellinger looked like Travis Kelce. He was running free.
Yeah.
And then you had the touchdown to Chris Myrick week 1, same thing. Nobody near him. The huge touchdown at the end of the game on the game-winning drive. And that's more of a credit to Kafka than anything else. And you think back under Garrett, tell me one time where Daniel Jones had
and Sterling Shepard was the other one. He was wide open too.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, we have schemed some guys open, which is good. It's up to Daniel Jones to process. And I forgot. When I was doing the stream with All Nation, he's a Cowboys fan. And he even said, like, guys like Daniel Jones don't have time to throw. He said Daniel Jones holds on to the ball longer than almost any quarterback in the league. He said Burrow gets rid of it in 2.1 seconds, and Brady obviously gets rid of it in just over 2 seconds. He said Jones holds on to it for 3 seconds. That's long time. You can't hold on to the ball that long and not expect to get hit, especially with our offensive line. So again, that shows a little hesitancy on him. I feel like he's getting, I don't want to say he's getting better. Like, I feel like he's shown resolve, but I still don't think he's incredibly confident in his ability. And I feel like he's scared to take chances. And I don't know if that's because it's just in his head, if it's because of the line, if it's because his wide receiver is blow, if it's because of a pass coaching regime, whatever it is. I would like to see Daniel Jones take some more shots down the field because I think they're there to be had. And hey, if you throw an interception, throw an interception. But, you got to loosen up the defense a little bit. And the best way to do that is throw the ball deep, and that'll allow Saquon Barkley to open up. If you can connect on a couple of those, it'll open up the run for sure. So I'd like to see him take some shots. And it's going to be difficult because Dallas is a good pass rush. Yeah. But like we said at the top of the show, those double moves are there to be had. You get Stephon Diggs jumping around, or not Stephon Diggs, Trayvon Diggs. You get him jumping one of the routes, you could have 6. So yeah, we'll see how Kafka and Dable call it. I can't wait, man. I'm pumped. I'm so ready for this damn game, man.
Hopefully we get an opportunity. Hopefully we hit on some big plays this week. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, I think overall the play calling's definitely been an upgrade. I know the points may not suggest it, but I think the play calling's been an upgrade.
Yeah.
And I do think they're going to open up this offense more so as the season goes along. I don't necessarily expect it this week. Maybe against the Bears, we'll see. But I do think definitely over the second half of the season, I think you'll see a more aggressive offense, and we'll see how Daniel Jones does from within it and all the other players on the Giants roster. Durant says, I'll put Micah up with LT when Micah gets another blocking position, paid and famous. As he's right. He's right.
Yep. Yeah.
Andrew Thomas loves Lawrence Taylor.
Yes. Yes. And of course, Duran's thumbnail is Lawrence Taylor from Tecmo Super Bowl, greatest football game ever made.
Yeah, but yeah, he's absolutely right, man. The blindside protector started making a lot of money because of Lawrence Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
And Asia, thank you very much. Stand up, Mike Sexy. And hey, Bad Dog. Hey, Loon. Good win for our Yankees today, Bad Dog. And what happened to DeGrom today? Can't wait for the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, hopefully it's just a one-off for DeGrom. I know he had like a mediocre start, I think 2 starts ago as well. So hopefully he's not hitting the wall and he's ready to go for the postseason, but did not look good today. I think he had 5 runs. So hopefully the Mets bounce back. Tough loss today, but we still got a 1.5 lead. And as long as we win 1 against the Braves, we should be in good shape. Because
I don't know where Chris went. He should be back soon. I'll hold down the chat. But yes, Asia, good win for our Yankees. And I'll be doing the game tomorrow night. Thank you, Aaron Judge, for not breaking that record yet. There he is.
So I don't know what happens. Every once in a while, I hit like an X by accident. I pop myself out. So sorry about that.
Hotkey. He exits stage left there for a second.
Yeah, but thank you, Asia. I appreciate it. I'm gonna have to read a couple of these off my phone since I exited the chat, but I'll catch up with him here. John says hypothetical was Smith the Giants wanted over Toney. Of course they did. Devontae Smith, yeah. Giants were taking Devontae Smith, John. We all knew that. I had Devontae Smith mocked to the Giants in like January last offseason when everybody had him going top 5. I thought he would drop a bit, and I thought he was the 3rd best wide receiver in the class, and that's where he went. And I think he would have dropped to the Giants, obviously, had you guys not traded up. So, yeah, I think we were taking Devontae Smith. Once he was off the board, the Giants traded back. I'm not upset about that. If you watch my draft reaction, I think Baddog as well. I wasn't dying to take
What are you gonna say? It's right in my channel. I said I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Listen, I did a few mock drafts. That was the guy I had. I had Micah Parsons going to the Giants, and I didn't think we'd trade back. And we'll see how it plays out, right? It was either Micah Parsons or the combination of really Kadarius Toney, who's not going to be here. And we ended up with Kayvon Thibodeau. So, or Evan Neal, one of them. I don't think we would have drafted
I think it's Neal, I think was the Bears pick.
It was, but I think we would have drafted Evan Neal over Kayvon Thibodeau had we not had both picks.
Yes. Yeah, it's going to come down to the combination of, I guess, Toney. I don't know. Either one. You pick the player, either Thibodeau and Neal plus Toney or Parsons or Slater. And right now it's not looking great. But hopefully Neal improves. Hopefully he gets a lot better. But we'll see. Let me see here. Big Moose says, can't compare anyone to LT. Please just stop. I agree with you. I think everybody in the chat agrees with you. And Ayub says, put the hands in the chat if y'all want a new quarterback. Ayub is definitely going hard for the quarterback. Listen, I understand it. We're 2 weeks in. That's all there is to it. We're 2-0.
Well, listen, I'm sure you're going to get your wish at the end of the year. I don't think Daniel Jones is going to be here next year. Gut feeling.
We're 2 weeks in. Like, we're 2-0. Let's enjoy the season. Let's see what happens at the end.
Oh, listen, I was talking about this the other day. Like, so we're 2-0, and I'm happy. And I'm always, talking about, hey, 2-0, first place. And people think I'm negative all the time. And I'm like, I'm only negative because we lose. And I'm just telling you what's happened. And it's been a lot of negativity with the Giants winning 22 games in 5 years coming into the year. So I'm happy about 2-0. And then I still get people in my chair, oh, calm down, Baddog. We suck. We still suck. I'm like, you want to talk about negative? That's about as negative. Oh, you're 2-0. We're 2-0, but don't get excited. Don't calm down, Baddog. Don't get excited. You damned if you do. You damned if you don't.
Yeah, and
I'm getting excited. I don't care.
Listen,
I'm excited we win this game, though.
I'm the same as you. I'm getting excited as well. I'm a fan. I'm getting excited as well. So I'm with you. Independent says, I heard the over-under for total points scored is 39. I think it's 39.5. I take the under. How about you? Just see this as a ground and pound slugfest. Yeah, listen, you never know, especially in a defensive game. There could be turnovers. You could have pick sixes, flips of the field position. But yes, if I had to pick one going into this game, I think I'd go under. I think right now I got the score 2017, which is 37 total points. So I think I would go under, Baddog.
Yeah, I would go under too. I don't.
Not like
first team at 20 and this one wins it.
Yeah, not like super confident in that pick, but yeah, I think it's a better chance it'll be under than over, which I think it'll be a defensive game for sure. Blake says, I think DJ has been playing similar, probably a poor man's version to what we originally thought his ceiling could be, Alex Smith. Yeah, I mean, so far the first 2 weeks, that's exactly what he's been. He's been a game manager. Beto, what do you think about this? What I think about Jones so far this year? And again, not far from perfect. He needs to continue to improve and get a lot better, right? I equate what he's doing this year. Why I think he's better this year, again, for Ayub and everybody in the chat that wants a quarterback. I'm not saying he is even close to being a franchise quarterback right now. But why I think he's better this year in comparison, I feel like it's 2020. But instead of losing games that we would have lost with Jones in 2020, we're winning them. Because in big spots, late in the games, he's converting on big plays. He's picking up big third downs. He wasn't doing that in 2020.
Right.
You could think back, there was a number of games late in that season. He threw a pick, I think, week 2 against the Bears in 2020. There was the Rams game where he had a turnover late in the game. So I feel like he's comparable, but the difference for me so far this year is in the big spots. He actually is coming through.
Yeah, he's shown resolve, and that's what I said. I mean, I like that about him. He's made some mistakes. He made that big mistake against Tennessee. Dable went over there, chewed him out, and he let him right down and scored a game on a touchdown. We couldn't get into the end zone with 2 turnovers of 6-0, and we were completely dominating, but we couldn't get away from them. They took a lead. They went up 13-6, and then, as soon as we got the ball back after they scored, Daniel Jones let us right back down, and we scored. So, yeah, he has definitely shown the ability to bring us back, which is something that he has not done through the first 3 years of his career. So hopefully he can continue to improve and he can be more consistent throughout the game. But if you ever want him to step up at a big spot, that's it, because that was one of Eli Manning's great abilities, was no matter how bad he was during the game, you always felt like, hey, with 2 minutes left and we're down by 4, we're going to come back and win this game. You always had confidence in Eli. So if Daniel Jones can give us that, where it's like, you know what, we believe he's going to bring us back, I can live with that. I can live with that this year.
You just hope he continues to get better, man. That's what I'm hoping for. Dorman says, me and my girlfriend broke up. Don't let me down, Blue. I'm sorry to hear that, man. And hopefully New York Giants get off to a 3-0 start. Makes you feel a little bit better, man. But Dorman, thanks for being here, buddy. And Dire Giants fan says, I look forward to these streams every week. You guys are good people. Love the content you guys produce. Appreciate all the hard work. 3-0, baby. We appreciate you, Dire, man. He's a day oneer. He's been with us forever. He's always in the stream.
He has.
Always supporting us. Him, Afghanistan's a day oneer. He's always in the stream. Yep. Can't say thank you enough to both of you guys, and not several other people that are always in the streams that always support us. So thank you to everybody. We same thing. We love doing these shows. We love going live. We love talking Giants with you guys, and always have a lot of fun. Been doing this now for about 5 years. Let's see. Alex says, if we have 8 to 10 wins and are out of the top 10 for a quarterback, wouldn't it be better to keep Jones on a short 2-year contract at like 15 to 18 mil? I mean, these are all hypotheticals. They're all hypotheticals. And it's why it's very hard for me to answer what we're going to do in the offseason. But if we win 10 games and we're picking like 20, because that's where we'd be picking, we'd be like 20. The question comes down to Joe Schoen as the general manager. And he has to, and again, how did Daniel Jones play? There's so many questions. But the question comes down to Joe Schoen. Is there a quarterback that he feels he could select at 20 that he loves? And if there's not one at 20, is there one that he could trade up for a price that he's comfortable with giving up that he loves? Because if you don't love the quarterback and you won 10 games, you could bring Jones back, like you said, on a cost-effective deal that you could get out after 1 year and continue to build the rest of the team around him. You draft that first-round wide receiver, yada, 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 yada. So there's options. I have to wait till the season plays out before I can start to answer these things. We're only going into week 3, and right now the New York Giants are 2-0.
Well, the other thing is, who's to say Daniel Jones would take that contract? Maybe Daniel Jones would want to test the free agent market. Maybe somebody would give him a 4-year,
and if they do, you let him walk.
$90 million deal, whatever, $100 million deal.
If somebody's willing to give him a contract you're not comfortable with, you let him walk.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
and you sign a free agent. If there's somebody in the draft you don't like, but if Jones plays pretty well and you'd like to bring him back, if there's a fair market value, he's willing to come back, you entertain it. If there's not a quarterback worth drafting where we're picking, and you don't feel comfortable with the price you'd have to give up to get a quarterback you may love, or there may not even be a trade available for the quarterback you may love, right? So there's so many unanswered questions. I know people want to take a quarterback no matter what. That's not always the way it plays out.
Right.
Jokes, man. Thank you very much, man. He says, Nick Wright said, even if we go 4-0, we suck. Clown. I mean, listen, I don't like Nick Wright at all. But to be fair, I understand people have that mindset. The team has been horrible for the last 10 years. I'm not going to feel that way. I'm going to support my Blue as best I can. But we got to have a whole season. We got to prove people wrong before we can start coming at the media and say, clown, 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 clown. They've earned the right to stomp on us. Let them continue to stomp on us. Once we get to where we need to be, we feed off of that. I love that as a Giants fan. I love when we're doubted. But we got to start proving people wrong before we can kill them. At the end of the day, if we start off 4-0, Baddog, we beat the Cowboys without Dak. We beat the Chicago Bears, who might be the worst team in football. We beat the Panthers with Baker Mayfield, and we beat the Titans, who are a pretty good team, but they don't look so good so far. So
right.
I still understand the pundits who would be like, they still got a lot to prove before I'm fully bought in. But listen, one game at a time. Let's get to 4-0. I'll worry about that when we get there.
Right. I don't even know who the hell Nick Wright is. So
I think he works for like Fox Sports or he works for one of the networks, ESPN or Fox Sports.
So who gives a shit? Who cares what he says?
Yeah. And Blake says, I'm not a DJ fan, but I expect to see him improve as well as the offense, considering the present situation, the new offense first year. So I agree with you, Blake. And some people disagree. I do think he's going to get better. I do think this offense is going to get better over the course of the season.
Yeah, I do too.
The question is how much better, but I do think there's going to be improvements. I do think you'll see a better product on the field. May not be this week. Maybe in 3.
Yeah, this is gonna be tough. This is gonna be a tough week. Dallas is a good defense. So
yeah, listen. Let's be real. Let's be realistic for people that are going to go into this game. That's going to destroy Daniel Jones if he throws for 200 yards and they win the football game. And you say Jones didn't do enough. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
Tom Brady.
And listen, if we
Tom
go
Brady
200 yards, we win. I'm happy.
The first 2 weeks, bad dog. Tom Brady and Joe Burrow. You know how many yards they combined for through the air? 360.
Yeah, I know. Joe Burrow's on my fantasy team, so I know he's not off to a good start.
So I think the focus in this game has to be the ground attack. The Bucs were able to run on them. They were in for 160 yards. Like we said, got to try to balance it as much as you can, but I don't expect them to come out and fling the ball all around the field.
No. like I said, you know, set that double move up at some point and try to beat Diggs on a double move. He's aggressive. He'll want to jump a route. That's what he tries to do. Listen, man, you know, everybody talks about how great Trayvon Diggs is. Trayvon Diggs is. Cowboys fans want to erect a statue with a guy. They're erecting a statue in their pants when they sit there and watch a guy play, okay? But the fact of the matter is, the only way a cornerback gets that many interceptions is because he can be had. And you continue to test the guy. Deion Sanders wasn't having 12 interceptions in a year. Champ Bailey wasn't having 12 interceptions because no one's thrown over there. Darrelle Revis wasn't picking off 12 passes. You're not thrown over there. You're not even giving the guy an opportunity. But when you know that guy can be had, yeah, he's going to get his interceptions, but he's also going to give up a ton of touchdowns. He gave up a lot of touchdowns last year. So, again, I think the Giants can pick on him. I think that they can do that, especially if they're able to run the ball and you get a little play action pass going, something like that. But I think the Giants, I think pre-snap motion is going to be big for them. And I think that, you know, maybe early in the game, you want to try some of that cutesy stuff, a little end around or a counter gap or something or screen pass where you use Dallas's aggressiveness in the front seven against them, because that'll kind of slow them down, you know, as the game progresses. And then maybe you could just straight on block them and plow over them. So you figure, I mean, listen, I know it goes back a long ways, but that's kind of what Miami did to Minnesota in Super Bowl VIII. They had a lot of blocking schemes that kind of allowed Miami to take themselves out, and then they ended up being back on their feet, and then Miami just ran them over. So the Giants should use some of that stuff, you know, let Dallas use their aggressiveness against them, and then Dallas gets a little tentative and they kind of wait, they hesitate, and then the Giants should be able to bowl them over. But that's what I would do if I was an offense, is try to utilize some misdirection. Try to use that because we do it against the Eagles. So RPO could be big for Daniel Jones in this game. You know, he always has really good running games against the Eagles because they're aggressive. So I hope perhaps that's something to do early in the game. I don't know. We're going to find out.
Hopefully Kopke comes out with a better game plan from the start. Because I do think, you know, the first halves of these games, it's been bad and they've made great adjustments. So hopefully comes out with a good game plan from the start. And we get out to a nice lead similar to last week. We benefited from 2 turnovers, but hopefully we can score touchdowns. And
yes,
we'll see. We'll see how the game starts out. But I'm super excited. Bill says, I believe if DJ had Dable from his rookie year, he'd be a lot better. The organization did him no favors. Finally got a real coach, but the damage is done.
I agree with everything you said.
Yeah, he'd be better. No doubt about it. He'd be better. I mean, if he
wouldn't be Josh Allen, but he'd be better.
Yeah, if he had a consistent offensive play caller from the start, that's a guy that's Dable's much better than any play caller he's ever had. So Kopke is technically the play caller, but 100%. And that's why I have a lot of hope if we do replace Daniel Jones. It's why I have a lot of hope for the next quarterback, because he's going to come into a more stable situation. Dable's not going anywhere. He was handpicked by Joe Schoen. Joe Schoen ain't going to get fired after a year. So Dable ain't going anywhere. Those guys are linked at the hip. Those guys are going to be here for at least 3, hopefully at least 3 years, hopefully a lot longer. So I think that quarterback's going to come into a much more stable situation with a good offensive play caller and hopefully with 2 bookend tackles. So I think they are setting this situation up well if it's not Jones for the guy that replaces him. Irish Rover. Hey, Chris and Kevin, I am pumped to watch Wink's defense on Monday night. My take is our defense and special teams will play a major role in our win. On a side note, I hate America's team. Go Giants, go Big Blue. Rover, man, thank you so much, man. Thank you for being here. As far as what you had to say about the special teams, special teams are definitely a factor. Our special teams were better last week. They were really bad week 1 in terms of punt coverage, kick coverage. Of course, Graham Gano has been a beast. He won special teams player of the week this week, as he well deserved, with the 52 and 56-yard field goal, made 4 field goals overall. And listen, if it's going to be a game that comes down to field goals, like I said at the top of stream, Baddog, you want Graham Gano on your roster.
Definitely.
But hopefully the kick coverage is better, the punt coverage is better, and New York Giants find a way to win. Can't have stupid penalties either.
Yeah, special teams is very good against Carolina. We forced a turnover. I think they had 1 bad coverage on a kickoff, but Scottish Hammer had a couple bad punts. But honestly, the special teams has definitely been. It was better last week than it had been previously. So
yeah, week 1 it was really.
Hopefully they can continue to improve.
Yeah, Danny, how you guys feel about our team now, boys? Go G-Men. I love you guys. Best on YouTube. Appreciate it. Bad Dog, some Yankees getting hot at the right time. Let's go.
I'll be doing a game tomorrow night. Like I said, when Chris stepped out of the stream for a second, I'll be doing a game tomorrow night, and because there's no Giants. So thank you, Aaron Judge, for waiting. You can hit 61 and 62 tomorrow. I want to call it. So thank you for waiting.
And thank you for being here, Danny, man. We appreciate it, man. And yeah, I mean, how do you feel about the team? I mean, right now I'm as happy as I could be. You know, I expected us to get off to a slow start offensively. It's exactly what's happened. But they've been able to overcome that. And the thing that I'm most encouraged about so far is the defense, obviously. But I had a lot of questions about the defense going into the year. I still do. I'm still not completely sold on
the secondary. Was a lot of questions.
I'm still not completely sold on the defense. But
we get our two best edge rushers back. So
yeah, we are. We're getting our two best edge rushers back, and we'll see. I think the silver lining, though, this season, as far as Wink goes, is we're not playing a lot of good quarterbacks. And I think when you go up against mediocre quarterbacks, a defensive philosophy like Wink's works really well. We'll see how it works when he versus Aaron Rodgers. But so far, so good, man. The defense has been great. Daniel Jones has been okay. You know, he needs to get a lot better. Barkley, he's back. You know, he's a legitimate weapon. But right now, he's our only legitimate weapon. So we need some of these receivers to step up, stay on the football field, make some plays for us. Andrew Thomas is a beast. The rest of the line needs a lot of improvement. So there's a lot of work to be done, but we're off to a 2-0 start. We found ways to overcome some of our deficiencies early on this year.
Yeah, listen, I'm happy with them right now. I have 2-0. I thought they'd be 1-1 at this point, and you know, I thought at the beginning of the year we might struggle, and we have offensively, but the defense has been really good, and win's a win, man. And these are two, like I said, these are two winnable games. Got to get one at a time, but this is a statement game for the Giants. This is for everybody to see. Everybody that says this team sucks, and yeah, this team has a long ways to go. They're not as good as the other 2-0 teams in the league. Let's be honest, they're not. But we are 2-0, and Bill Parcells said it best: "You are what your record says you are." So let's get 3-0. Why not? You know, why not us?
Be nice.
WBC, man, winning builds culture. Keep building that culture, building the confidence.
Let's keep winning.
And
Alex,
Dallas's ass.
Alex says Tony's reaction to not playing much tells me a lot about his personality. He is very happy and excited when we win. Stop talking about his character. I don't know who's talking about his character. The only concerns I've had about Tony personally has been his injuries. That's my concern with Kadarius Toney. I haven't really had any concerns about it. I mean, I know, well, in terms of him not showing up for, but I think everybody had concerns about that. First year with a new head coach, new scheme, you would have, it wasn't a great look for him not to show up to voluntary minicamp. But outside of that, no, man, it's the injuries. That's what I worry about most with Toney, not his character.
Yeah, I don't know anybody that was mentioning his character. The dude has a lot of. The guy can't stay in the field. I don't know. It's just weird. It's like every week some injury pops up and he doesn't play. So, yeah, it's got nothing to do with his character. Just wish that the guy get on the field because he's obviously a dynamic playmaker, and we're without him every week. It sucks. It's frustrating.
Yeah. And best ability is availability. You got to be out there. And so far to this point in his career, he hasn't proven to be able to do that on a consistent basis. I Kill Your Vibe says, I'll be there Monday night. Whiteout, let's go, G-Man. I hope you enjoy the game, man.
Enjoy it.
I was actually thinking about getting tickets to the Monday night, and I just started a new job, so I can't because I'm going to be home at like 2 a.m. I got to get up at like 5 a.m. So otherwise, I'd have been there because I'm
welcome to my world.
Yeah, I'm super pumped up about this game. And I know the crowd is going to be electric on Monday night. It's going to be great. So enjoy yourself. I Kill Your Vibe. Jada Man, stand up. Yes, I'm late. Good to see you, John, man. Thanks so much for being here, man. And thank you for popping in, man. We appreciate it. Grim in the house. He says the problem with DJ is that even if he improves over the course of the season, it likely won't be enough. Most likely won't bet on him based on a few decent games. They have nothing invested in him.
Right.
Probably the case. Again, it all comes down to the draft, though. It all comes down to the draft. It all comes down to DJ's market. It all comes down to the free agency market at the quarterback position. It all comes down to that. And we don't have the answers right now. We don't have the answers. Right. We don't know where we're going to be picking. We don't know how these quarterbacks at college are going to perform. We don't know how Shane feels about these quarterback prospects. Got to wait it out. Just enjoy the year. That's my best advice to everybody. There's tons of people on Twitter. Oh, that quarterback. Wait out the year. See where the Giants are picking. See how Jones does. See how the team develops. See how they feel about the quarterback prospects in the draft. There's going to be no surprises in the draft, Bad Dog. None.
Right.
Because Daniel Jones is not under contract, okay, after this year. So we're going to know going into the draft if the New York Giants are more than likely taking a quarterback.
Yep.
He's either going to be signed before the draft or he's not.
Yep.
And if he's not, we're more than likely taking a quarterback. So the drama will be over by the time the offseason gets here. Let's wait out the year. Let's see how the team does. Let's see how Jones does and take it from there.
Yep.
Deep
I
breath.
can't believe Oklahoma is going to lose this freaking game every freaking year with Kansas State. I mean, you want to make money on college football, bet Kansas State the money line against Oklahoma every year. You will clean up.
Kayvon, thank you, Jokes. He says Kayvon has to be jealous that Aiden and Trayvon are eating. Yeah, I mean, Aiden Hutchinson's off to a good start. He had, I think, a 3-sack game week 2, right?
Yeah,
So
he's off to a good start.
Yeah, he's off to a really good start. And I know Walker got off to a pretty good, I don't know what his stats are, but I remember people were saying he got off to a pretty good start. I actually believe Kayvon Thibodeau, when people asked him about comparing himself to Micah Parsons, the reporters asked him, do you feel pressure going up against Micah Parsons? He said, I don't play against Micah Parsons.
Right.
I play against the tackle. I go up against the offensive line, and that's the right way to look at it. It's not whatever Micah Parsons does has no effect on what Kayvon Thibodeau does.
Right.
And it's the same thing with Trayvon Walker and Aiden Hutchinson. The only person he should be concerned about is the tackle he's going up against. That's it. But I'm sure that he's super excited to get out on the football field, Monday Night Football under the lights for a big game after the Giants got off to a 2-0 start. So I'm sure he's pumped up, and trust me, Giants fans are pumped up to see him.
Yep, without a doubt.
But yeah, I hope not. I don't think anything's going in his head saying, oh, Aiden Hutchins is doing well, so that puts more pressure on me. No, just go out there, play your game, and get the job done. Danny says, I hope Jones proves he could be the quarterback of the future so that we could focus on other positions in the future. I was at the A's-Mets game. Horrible game to go to today. Sorry, Danny. DeGrom didn't look good this game, but I hope the Mets wake up before the postseason. Let's go Giants. Yeah, Danny, I mean, listen, Mets have looked really good. Just today they had a hiccup. Hopefully they bounce back. They win tomorrow, and then, hopefully we get lucky with the Phillies knocking off the Braves one of these next two. We got a 2-game lead if that happens. So one game at a time with the Mets as well. We only got 9 left, so let's hope we close out the season right. As far as Jones goes, I mean, it'd be great. I mean, that's best case scenario. It proves that he's worthy of sticking around and has a really good year, and you get to fill out the rest of the team, but got a long way to go.
Yes, we do.
Irishman, thank you for being a member for 12 months. He says, Farris asked a great question. Okay, I guess that's somebody in the chat. Do you believe Golladay is going to have a big game, or is Slayton going to get reps? Baddog, to me, that is the biggest question mark regarding the New York Giants week to week, their utilization of the wide receiver position.
Yeah, never know what the hell they're going to do.
I have no idea. And I will say, somebody said it on Twitter. I was like, yeah, I actually agree with that. I could see Slayton having a big play in this game. I could, because he kind of is probably our best vertical threat. Like you were saying earlier, the Cowboys are going to be ultra aggressive on defense. They're probably going to blitz. Trayvon Diggs is a guy that takes chances. I know Slayton hasn't been out there much. I don't think he's going to have a ton of catches or be super involved in the offense, but I could see Slayton get an opportunity in this game to have a big play. I will say that. But hopefully Golladay has a big game. I mean, Golladay came out, talked to the media this week, clearly voiced his displeasure, not happy with the way he's been used so far. Don't blame him. I mean, he's a competitor. Hopefully he proves everybody wrong. I mean, he came out and said, I forgot what his exact words were, but he basically said the Giants should absolutely be playing him under any circumstance. So hopefully he goes out there and has a big game. I have my doubts, but hopefully he does.
Yeah, but, I like that Dable said, I'm glad he's not happy.
Yeah.
Because it shows competitive nature. So, we need Golladay. Wherever our offense is going to do anything, we need that guy to perform. Now, obviously, he can't perform if he's not on the field, but, get on the field. Do whatever it takes to get on the field. I don't know what the hell. Listen, I don't know what goes on in practice. I don't know what's going on in the locker room. I don't know why Golladay only got 2 snaps against Carolina, but I have a feeling he's going to get more snaps against Dallas, and hopefully he can make the most of them. That's what we need. That's why we gave the guy all that money. So hopefully he can have a big one against Dallas. I mean, that's what we need.
I posted this quote on Twitter today. It was from August 23rd, from Dable, and I think this is the reason why Golladay hasn't been playing. This is what Dable said about the receiving corps August 23rd. The guys that have been out there and producing, Colin Johnson and David Sills, they've stepped their game up, and they're right in the mix, not just to make the team, but to play. And I think Dable saw that these guys were picking up the offense well in training camp and in preseason, felt like they had more chemistry with Daniel Jones, knew the offense better. And he's going to put out the guys on a week-to-week basis that he feel give them the best opportunity to win football games.
Yeah.
Clearly didn't like what he saw from Kenny Golladay in training camp. And hopefully Kenny Golladay takes that as an opportunity to prove people wrong. And he goes out there and has a great game if he gets an opportunity. But I think Dable legitimately feels like the receivers he's putting out there, regardless of how, they may be in terms of lack of talent in comparison to a guy like Kenny Golladay, give them the best opportunity to win. I don't think he's doing it for any other reason.
Yep. I agree. So it's weird. But I also like that the Giants aren't doing the same thing over and over again. That's the definition of insanity. You would have never saw Kenny Golladay benched by the previous regime. So, I'm glad that they're making a statement saying, you know what? You don't want to, whatever it is, we're going to bring out the guys that we feel give us the best opportunity to win, no matter what their status is, no matter what they've done, no matter what they're paid. So far it's worked, but you would like to see Kenny Golladay get out there and contribute.
Yeah. Johnny, I've been getting this question a lot. Look, anything's possible. I'll wait till the end of the year again, but could Lamar Jackson be a Giant next year? My quick answer to you is no. And it's not because I wouldn't take him on the Giants. It's because there's no way in hell the Baltimore Ravens are letting him go. There's no way in hell. I don't care what people seem to think right now. There's never been a quarterback that's 26, 27 years old in the prime of their career that a team has let walk without things like Deshaun Watson. To me, it appears to be a case where they haven't quite met in the middle yet. Lamar Jackson doesn't have an agent. He is asking for a ton of guaranteed money, and the Ravens don't want to quite meet him there. But if Lamar Jackson has a good year this year, which is really the only reason I'd want to sign him if I was a Giants fan, he stay healthy this year and play well, the Ravens are bringing him back. They're not letting Lamar Jackson walk. It's not going to happen. So I guess it's an interesting topic to talk about. It's not happening, in my opinion. Now the Giants may very well draft a quarterback. They may sign a different quarterback. I don't think Lamar Jackson is going to be available to be picked up by the New York Giants.
Yeah, I don't either. They'll tag him. I don't see how they would just let him walk away.
I think they're going to sign him. I think they're going to give him an extension. It's just a matter of meeting in the middle and getting the proper contract. I think they're going to sign him. And I think it's the best fit for Lamar. I think Lamar would be silly to leave the Ravens. It just comes down to getting paid what he feels he should be getting paid. But they set that entire team up for Lamar Jackson to succeed.
Yep.
The scheme, the line, it's a perfect fit for him. I don't see why he would leave.
Agreed.
Dire Giants fan says, yo, we're 2-0 going into a winnable game. Enjoy. That's basically been the moral of the story for me all week.
We're going to enjoy it even more Monday and we get that dub.
Absolutely. And Ride says, Oklahoma is blowing my parlay, bad dog. I feel you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't bet on Oklahoma, but they just pissed me off.
Bad dog's an Oklahoma fan.
Yeah, Georgia actually lost money on them today. Georgia's been killing it for me, but they had a bad one today. But Oklahoma just they have a hard time with Kansas State. I don't know why. They just do. Kansas State's beaten them 4 times in the last 10 years. That's more than any other Big 12 opponent that they've played.
Good to see Bobby Rutherford in the chat, by the way. What's going on, Bobby, man? Thanks for popping in, buddy.
Freaking Dylan Gabriel's missed a bunch of wide open receivers in this game. It's insane.
And Danny Duds, will DJ throw 1 touchdown and crack 200 yards this week? I'm going to say yes to the 1 touchdown. I'm going to say no to the 200. I think they're going to come out with a very similar game plan that they did the last 2 weeks because they're going up against Dallas Cowboys, Micah Parsons, that pass rush, and they're going up against a weak offense. They're not going to take more chances than they feel are necessary to win the football game. It's not about style points. It's about giving your team the best chance to win. I don't think this is the week they open up the offense, Mr. Duds. I think maybe it's 200, but I think it's going to be a similar game plan to what we've seen the last 2 weeks.
I'll tell you what, Danny, if he does that and we win, I'm happy.
I don't care. Yeah, I just want a good
game. Stats don't mean anything to me.
Execute, pick up the third downs when you need to, have the big drive when you need to, rely on the defense. Right now, that's the strength of your team. You're going up against a team who right now the strength of their team is their defense. Their weakness is your offense. Is their offense, rather. Play into the strength of your strength and their weakness, which is our defense going up against their offense. That's what's going to win or lose this football game. And establishing the ground game with Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
Richard, man, thank you very much, man. Hello, guys. It's going to be a good defensive game. I'm pumped. Like defense better than a shootout. Well, you're going to get that. If you like defense, Richard, and anybody in the chat, you're going to like this game. It's going to be all about defense, Richard. It's going to be a defensive game. Obviously you got Micah Parsons on the other side. You got Wink, an ultra-aggressive defensive coordinator for the Giants. We get our 2 pass rushers back. You're going to see a lot of hard hits in this game. They're going to be getting after the quarterbacks.
I agree. It's going to be like an old school smash mouth. NFC's battle like it used to be. I'm excited for it, man. I'm looking forward to it for sure. I want to beat their ass. I want to beat them. I know you're a Cowboys fan, Richard, and you're the man, but there's a lot of awesome Cowboy fans on both of our channel. It is nothing personal. It's just business.
Absolutely. And Blake says, if we get rolled by Dallas, is DJ cursed at primetime? All right, I'm gonna give my opinion on the primetime thing. And DJ has not been good throughout his career at all, like in terms of wins and losses. He has done better as of late in the win-loss department. He's 4-1 in his last 5 starts. But I'd have to look at it. But let me look at it real quick. Daniel Jones stats. I don't remember which games he's played in primetime, but I'm pretty sure, Bad Dog, every game that Daniel Jones has played in primetime, he has been a huge underdog outside of maybe one. So, like, there were games going in that you knew we weren't going to win. Let me.
Well, I can tell you this: there are 2 primetime games that we should have won. Last year against Washington, offsides, and the one against the Eagles when Ingram dropped the pass.
Yeah,
the Washington and against Tampa Bay, we could have beat them too.
Yeah, the Washington game was a game we should have won.
Yeah,
that wasn't on Jones though. Jones played really well in that game.
No, that's what I'm saying. We should have won those games.
Yeah, I don't have the primetime games in front of me, but I know he's played he's played some very good teams on primetime, which is you expect on primetime. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully he gets a win. That's all I could say. I don't really believe in those primetime jinxes and curses. The way I look at it is TJ's playing much better teams than the Giants.
Yeah. Daniel Jones has won 11 games in his career coming into this year. So
he's not going up against the Carolina Panthers on primetime, a team that he beat this week.
Right.
Against the Tennessee Titans on primetime, a team that he beat. Well, maybe the Titans, but he beat them. You're going to the Steelers. They were primetime, right? Yeah. That was a good team that year, opening week. So you're usually going up against better football.
The Steelers, the Rams, the Bucks, the Packers, your typical top of the heap.
And the
Giants aren't going on prime time the way they've been playing just because they're the Giants. They're on prime time because they're on somebody's list of one of those elite teams.
Yeah. And, yeah, I mean, Jones had the worst team to play with on those primetime games. That's why his record, as bad as his record is overall, that's why his record is as bad as it is on primetime.
Right.
V-Train, thank you very much, man. You said Eli was at his best when he wasn't thinking. I see that in DJ. He's instinctive, and I trust him in the clutch. I got to see more of this from DJ before I'm willing to say that. But I will say he has been better in the clutch this year. He's got a long way to go for me, but he's been better in the big moments this year than what we've seen in the past. Again, it's only been 2 weeks. Let's see him continue to grow. 100% about Eli Manning. And you saw it, Bad Dog, in his rookie year, on second year, third year, 2-minute drill. Once they were in a hurry-up offense, I'm telling you right now, and there's statistical evidence to back this up. I don't know if it tailed off towards the end of his career, but I remember, because I'm a diehard Giants fan, because I was often curious about it, and people did research on this. Eli's first 9-10 years in the league, he was among one of the greatest 2-minute drill quarterbacks in the history of the NFL.
Yeah,
that's how good he was in that. Whether it was regular season, postseason, he was great in the 2-minute drill. And yeah, that's when you don't think, you react. You're in the hurry up. And Eli Manning from the start always had that. He was always very good in the 2-minute drill.
Yep.
Again, it might have tailed off towards the end of his career, but I remember looking into that maybe around 2011, 2012, after he won his Super Bowl. And for his career, he was one of the greatest 2-minute drill quarterbacks in football over the first 8-9 years of his career. Chris, man, thank you very much, man. Entertaining and Bad Dog, you are a dynamic duo. Which Giants duo describes you guys? By the way, Chris, he sent Bad Dog and myself pictures on Twitter. This guy's jacked.
Yes.
This guy's jacked. And he works out with Steve Weatherford. It's awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. I showed Steve Weatherford a thing or two in there. No, I'm just kidding. But Steve Weatherford's a big dude. It's a big
he says, what duo describes us best? Strahan, OC, LT Carson, or Jake? All right, so we have to choose one of those three. Jacobs, Bradshaw, LT Carson, or Strahan and OC? I'm not going to go Strahan OC. Baylor, what's your take on this? I need a little bit of your evaluation on this.
Man, I'm going LT. Anything with LT, man. Anything with Lawrence Taylor. So, maybe not Carson. Maybe like Lawrence Taylor and Carl Banks. Like
okay, that. You want to go with that?
I go with LT Banks. Yeah.
I can rock with that.
Yeah, we can do that.
I can rock with that. Now we got to fight over who's LT. But no, I'm just kidding. But no, I can roll with the. I can roll with
any of them because they all won Super Bowls.
There you go. There you go. I'm happy. I'm happy with any of those.
And how many you got 3 Hall of Famers in that list. So
you got straight. Yep, 3 Hall of Famers on that list. And OC was close, but not quite. Big move, man. Thank you very much, man. Definitely think they'll go to Golladay this week. I'm not going to say definitely to anything when it comes to Golladay or the receiving core. I'm really not. Let me ask you a question, Bad Dog. As uninvolved as Kenny Golladay has been in this offense so far, and it has not been because of injuries, could you imagine if Colin Johnson never got hurt?
I know, man.
Colin Johnson was going to be involved in this offense.
I mentioned it. I don't know if it was one of the Golladay videos today because I did a couple. I did the one where, I just said he was a bum and because he, whatever. I forgot what I said. The first thing I mentioned is before he came out and said he was mad. I forgot why I even did that video the first time. But I mentioned, that Dable said, he's sticking to his guns, and he said these guys got an opportunity. And I mentioned Colin Johnson. But I was a big fan of Colin Johnson, and if he didn't tear his Achilles tendon, he would have been in there. And we could have used this 6'6", 230-pound, big-bodied receiver.
Yeah,
that would have helped out huge. Can you imagine him in the red zone? It sucks, but hopefully Galladay's better than this. We know this, so
yeah. And I see Authentic saying if Johnson never got hurt, Sills wouldn't make the roster. I mean, that's what I would think too. But I just read a quote earlier, and it's what he said. This was an exact quote on August 23rd. The guys that have been out there and producing, Colin Johnson and David Sills, he mentioned both by names, they've stepped their game up, and they're right in the mix. Not
Richie James might have been the guy that didn't make the roster.
But to play. And when he said that to me, he's hinting at they were both going to make the team. And if they were both going to make the team, I still think James makes it because of special teams purposes. I think Slayton may not have made it.
Slayton might have been. Yep.
Slayton may have been the odd man out. But we'll never know.
We'll never know.
But you think about Colin Johnson, he's such a, and not to say Sills is kind of similar too, and not that he's as good as Golladay in my opinion, but a similar type of receiver, but even more so with a guy like Colin Johnson.
So Golladay, I want that guy to get it together, man. We need him.
And Dire Giants fan, man, thank you very much, man. There's the link to Bad Dog's channel. Definitely check that out. We'll be over there live on Monday. On the game. Looking forward to that, man. And Dire, man, thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
L.A. Lou, he says, like to think outside the box a lot. I think the Kansas State quarterback, Adrian Martinez, I saw people talking about him today. Again, I'm not reading too much into college anything right now because I'm focused on the Giants, but would be good in the Dable Kafka offense. I think it'll be a good pro. I saw people talking about the Kansas State quarterback today.
I'll be honest, L.A. Lou, I don't like Adrian Martinez. I don't think he's a good quarterback at all. I think a lot of quarterbacks are good against Oklahoma because their defense has been dragged.
No, not Kansas State. It was the Kansas quarterback. I'm sorry.
No, Adrian Martinez is
Kansas. No. The guy I saw people talking about on Twitter.
Yeah.
I forgot.
The Washington quarterback, he's looked pretty good. What the hell can his name? It starts with a P. It's not Paxson. I don't think. I forgot that. Well, I can look it up because I got the scores up here. But he has looked really good. The Washington quarterback has looked really good so far. Pellick, is that his name? I'm going to find out here. It's something like that. Penix. He's not having a great game tonight against Stanford, but Penix has been good so far. Again, there's always somebody that jumps up that you don't expect to be in the year. You go into the year, you're talking about Anthony Richardson, you're talking about Will Levis, talking about C.J. Stroud. I don't know why anybody would ever talk about Anthony Richardson. He's not good. But then there's always that guy that just jumps up out of nowhere that you don't expect.
Last year with Pickett.
Right. You just don't expect to be there. Burrow with LSU the year that he took off. So long ways to go in college football too, but I'm just not a fan. Again, Adrian Martinez does well against Oklahoma all the time. Then again, so does Deuce Vaughn. I don't think Deuce Vaughn's going to be a great running back in there, but that's just my take. I am not a fan of Adrian Martinez. I don't think he's very good, but the right system, I guess any quarterback could be successful. So I wouldn't want him though, L.A. Lou. I would not want him as a quarterback of the Giants. I can tell you. Would not want him here.
And Blake, man, thank you very much. DJ is 1-13 in games that started 425 or later.
And he got that one this year.
Yeah, that's right. He did against the Titans, right?
Yeah. So he's due. So he's 1-0 this year.
Exactly. What's going on, yo, Elvis? Listen, I'm going to be positive. I'm going to say Dan Jones is 4-1 in his last 5 starts. And he beat
2-0 this year. We're first place.
2-0 this year. He beat 2 playoff teams last year, included in that 4-1 stretch. He beat the Raiders and he beat the Eagles. He's got
The Eagles was a great one. That was fun.
He's got a lot to work on. But let's see what we could do this week. I'm looking forward to it.
We can beat them. We can beat them.
Yeah.
We can beat them. We got this.
Let's go.
Let's have fun, man. Monday night's going to be a fun game. I'm looking forward to it for sure. For sure.
Let's see. Good news is Giants win week 4. We got to win week 3 before we worry about week 4, Mike.
Yeah, and we don't know that we're going to win week 4. I mean, there's no gimmies for the Giants.
Yeah, I don't care.
No gimmies for us.
I don't care.
We should be able to beat them, but there's no
should be.
There's no guarantees at our team.
That don't mean anything. You know the Titans should have beat us. The Cowboys should have lost to the Bengals. The Jets should have lost to the Browns.
Yeah, the Dolphins should have lost to the Ravens.
You know, it's the NFL, man. Upsets happen. I don't care how good your team is. You can't take anybody for granted. So
Oklahoma better get off the field on this 3rd down 16, man. That's all I know.
Any word on Parsons' illness? No, I haven't heard anything about it, Jeremy. But
I can't.
I'd be shocked. I'd be beyond shocked if Micah Parsons doesn't suit up on Monday. He's got to play. Don't read too much into that. We're gonna have an advantage with Schultz out, which I think is good. We struggle against tight ends, and he's a big weapon of theirs. But they're gonna have Gallup back. Gallup may be, but he may be limited from what I read. So we'll see about that. But Schultz is not gonna play. I keep saying it. The weapon I worry about the most is Pollard in this Dallas offense with the way that they match up against our defense. But like last week, I expect a lot of 3 safety looks. I think they're also going to try to put CeeDee Lamb a lot in the slot. If you remember, Baddog, I think it was last year, they did that. They tried to take advantage of Darnay Holmes on CeeDee Lamb. That, of course, is when they had Amari Cooper in the lineup. So, but I think they're going to try to do that too. I think they'll try to move him around.
Gallup could be, that could be a big thing. I can't believe Oklahoma. Well, I can't believe they lost this game because that's what they do. They can't beat Kansas State. It is unbelievable. They cannot beat that team. Well, that's the one thing about college football, too. You lose a game, your season's over. Especially when you lose to an unranked team. You're done. That's the end of their season. Now you hope for your 6 bowl. That's it.
What if you – I don't know the rest of your schedule, but if you went out, you think you got no shot?
Yeah, you got no chance.
Really? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Willie Gray, man, thank you very much, man. He says, what would you rather see happening? Our O-line dominating Micah Parsons with 0 sacks or Kayvon and the OG each getting multiple sets? Offensive line does better.
Yeah, I was going to say O-line.
O-line, Willie. O-line does good because, to me, our defense could still be really good if Kayvon doesn't get sacks. Like, we could still generate pressure. Last week, if you notice, a lot of the pressure came from the DBs, the safeties, the slot corners. They blitzed Darnay Holmes at times. Obviously, Julian Love blitzed a ton. McKinney blitzed a ton. So, yeah, I think we could generate pressure even if Kayvon's not the guy doing it. So, for me, it's the O-line.
Yeah, I agree.
If I leave this game, Baddog, with the O-line having a good performance against Micah Parsons, like that's awesome. Like, that sign me up for that.
Yeah, because that means our offense will be starting to move in the right direction. What the hell channel is Washington on?
Let's see, we got Killian says Kafka will have a couple of plays for Kenny Golladay, not much more. You might be right, Killian. I don't know. It's all a guessing game at this point. I don't know. I don't know how much they're going to use Kenny Golladay. I don't know how much they're going to use any of these receivers.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, he was healthy. He was like a healthy scratch last week. I mean, who the hell would have saw that coming? So,
yeah. Good to see Craig in the chat. Always talk to you on Twitter, man. Great supporter of my channel. He says, I need to see Rob. He's talking about Wan'Dale Robinson, I think. Healthy. I did not like that pick at all. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think that pick's still up in the air. People see Pickens and they say, why didn't we take him? He had the nice catch for the Steelers with the one-hand grab. I'm going to give the kid some time. But, yes, got to see him out in the football field. He's been banged up. Patricia Train I was talking to on her show last night, and she said she's under the assumption that there's a very good chance he'll be back by week 4. But he's a guy I'm really excited about to see in this offense, to see what their plan is for him, right? Because that was a little bit of a head-scratcher when the New York Giants initially made it. But I'm going to give Kafka, Dable, to see what they do. What's their vision for this player, how they're going to utilize him in this offense. Because we didn't get a real good look at it in preseason. I don't think they showed you all the bells and whistles.
No.
And I will say when I went to training camp, Wan'Dale Robinson impressed me at training camp. I'll tell you that right now. He did impress me. I don't think he's a number 1 receiver, but I do think he's a guy that they could get creative with in this offense.
Yeah, I think that's what they took him for. I think he can do a lot of different things. So I'd like to see him back in the field. I'd like to see any of our receivers stay in the field. Doesn't seem like they can.
I think ultimately he's going to be Shepard's replacement.
Probably, yeah. He could be Tony's replacement. There's part of me that doesn't believe that Galladay or Tony are on this team next year.
Galladay's not going to be.
Galladay definitely not. But
Yeah.
I mean, off season, I could see them looking to move Tony. There was rumors that they were looking to move him this year, and then they draft a guy that's very similar. So again, I think you mentioned it on Twitter. Kadarius Toney soft. I don't know what else to say, man. It's different when Saquon Barkley tore his ACL. Saquon Barkley's ankle swelled up like a balloon last year, and he finds
I didn't call him soft. Now people may have interpreted it that way, but basically all I said was the guy's got to stay on the field. He's been too banged up.
All right, I'll say it.
You can say it. I don't want Kadarius Toney coming on here or people saying, "Oh, Chris called Tony." No, I didn't call him soft.
I called him soft. Tell him to come at me.
I said he's
all the smoke from that guy, young Joker.
He's been
ahead.
Played with injuries his entire career. I'll tell you that right now, and he's got to stay on the field.
And one good year at Florida. I'll take it all. I don't give a damn. Oh, hey, listen, if an NFL player wants to give me attention, I'll be like, bro, you are soft. If my voice bothers you, and there's millions of Giants fans, you can't fight the fans, man. That's not happening. It's just not. You can't do that. You're gonna lose.
Yeah,
listen, I don't know why the hell the guy's always hurt. I don't understand.
The one thing I'm going to say
something.
The one thing I'm going to say about Tony that I think he needs to be talked to by his agent. And I understand that some fans love it. They love the way that he handles the media. It's not the best for him to handle the media the way in which he does.
I just get on the field, man.
I don't care about it, but it's just going to add more stress to him. You're in New York. To me, that would be my recommendation. But I don't care. Go out there and produce. Play on Sundays. That's all I care about.
Yeah, I don't give a damn what he does. I don't care about his rap crowd. I don't care what he does. Play on Sunday.
I could care less.
Yeah, I don't care. I care what you do for the Giants, and standing on the sidelines ain't helping.
Lou says would love to see the Giants dominate with the run. I think we all would. I mean, that would make life a lot easier for this team this week. That would make life a lot easier for this team this week. We don't got to worry about Jones dropping back 35 times and getting popped. Blindside hit against Micah Parsons. So that would be ideal if they're able to dominate with Saquon Barkley this week in the ground game.
Yeah.
Big Moose says my super chat's not going through. Thought I have no idea, but that one did.
Yeah. Big Moose the only one I've ever heard say that.
I don't know.
He super chats.
I've heard it before, but he says it very often.
No, I don't ever remember anybody saying that they're not going through.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. That could be a YouTube thing. That could be a Apple Pay thing or credit card. Well, I don't know. I know sometimes if you use, I don't think Big Moo does it, but I know sometimes I super chat if I'm using like characters or it won't allow it to go through. Like if I use too many, like if I try to put ass, YouTube ain't gonna like that. So I might use $2 signs and I don't like that either. And then I got to change it up and then it allows it to go through. So it could be what you're typing. Like I said, I can't figure YouTube out. I have no idea how that works.
Yeah. Don J says, I have a 0.0001% trust in Kadarius Toney's durability. I agree with you. I mean, I gotta call it how it is. Yes, that it's a major concern.
Yeah,
and it's not just his injury history, which is extensive, dating back to college. It's been since he's been in the NFL. It's also his style of play, his frame. I think it lends itself to more injuries based off the fact that he's had an injury history in the past. So I hate to say that. I'm not hoping that happens. I hope he finds a way to stay on the field. But a player he was frequently compared to coming out of college, and I think it was a pretty good comparison in terms of play style. Percy Harvin. Percy Harvin was hurt all the time in the NFL.
Yeah.
All the time in the NFL. So I think it's fair. I do question his durability. I don't care what Kadarius Toney thinks. I'm not calling him soft personally. Football's a hard game. I'm not tough enough to go out there and get hit by 300-pound men. But at the end of the day.
Here is he. So what the hell is the difference?
But at the end of the day, you got to be out on the field. I like his talent, but I'm tired of him always hurt. We need another receiver in the draft. We definitely need another receiver in the draft.
It's just weird how these things just seem to pop up out of nowhere. Like,
yeah.
It's almost like he doesn't want to play. It's almost like he's that kid that just don't want to go to school. He's like, the one that would stick the thermometer near the radiator and warm it up a little bit.
Yeah.
132. That's kind of what it's like. I don't know how serious, like how hurt he is, but God Almighty, it's like he practices at the beginning of the week, and at the end of the week, it's like, oh, he's doubtful. He's got a limited.
It's almost come to the point, Baddog, where you're like, you're like expecting it. You're like, wait,
right? I don't ever expect the guy to play.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Yep, I never expect him. I never expect to see a fully healthy designation for him.
Yeah, and hopefully he gets healthy. But I agree with you. I gotta be honest. I'm not confident the guy can stay on the field consistently. Jug says impressed in camp is like Ben Sim hitting warm-up threes. Oh, talking about Wan'Dale Robinson? Well, yeah, I mean, listen, we haven't gotten a look at Wan'Dale Robinson yet. I think you get a better look in training camp, though, than you do in a preseason game because they're not going to use him. You're not going to see the real playbook in a preseason game, especially with the first-team offense. So that's why I think you get at least a better look in what they plan to do with Wan'Dale Robinson in the offense. But listen, I agree with you. Camp means very little. It's why I don't – when I was at camp this year, people were flipping out. They were saying, oh, my God, this guy looks horrible. This guy looks great. No, it's camp. They're working on things. So if a guy looks great, Darnay Holmes, you didn't see me giving him tons of props. People were saying Darnay Holmes looked great in camp. I wasn't going crazy about it. So yeah, I agree with you. Training camp means very little to me in terms of player performance. They're trying to work on things they need to improve. That's what practice is about. So doesn't mean much to me. But I did find it interesting the way that they were using him in training camp, and I was excited to see how they were going to use him in the offense.
Yep.
Spencer, thank you very much. He says, hey, Chris, I've been a member for around 2.5. I appreciate it, man. 2.5 years, sub for a bit. 3 years ago. I just want to say thank you for all that you do. And let's get the 3-0. Let's go, G-Man. Thank you so much, Spencer, man. I really appreciate it, dude. Thank you for being such a great supporter on the channel. And I hope we get the 3-0 for you. Well, not just you, for me too. I'm greedy. I want to get the 3-0 for me too. I want to get the 3-0 for
every Giants fan, man.
We got 706 people in here, man.
Millions.
I want to get the 3-0 for every single person in this stream because you guys have been through hell and back. So
yeah,
appreciate all you guys. Thank you guys for all the support you guys always show. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell. More importantly, go to Bad Dogs. We're gonna be there Monday night, acting like lunatics, like we always do. Calling the game. Sills with the thrills. Hopefully, we get another one of those this week. We'll see, but really looking forward to the game and hopefully we celebrate it.
Yeah, we got to get to 3-0, man. There's no doubt about that. For the millions. And millions of Giants fans out there. 3-0 has a nice ring to it.
Absolutely. 76%. I said it. That's the math. Historically speaking, 76% of the time you make the postseason if you start.
Yeah, well, we were part of that 24%.
We definitely were. We definitely were.
We were definitely part of
it. And all you got to do is look at the Panthers last year. They started 3-0, and the Broncos, I think, started 3-0. But it's still nice to be able to say to yourself, wow.
Yeah, I'd rather start 3-0 than 0-3. Like, it seems like we've been starting every year, 1-2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Big Moose says, Tony just seems not interested. I'm not going to go that far. I understand that people have that mindset of him. I'm not going to go that far.
Yeah, it's just everything is weird about it.
I just think the guy can't stay healthy. I think the guy can't stay healthy. I'm not going to say.
Like I said, I never expect him to play. So
yeah. John, man, thank you very much, man. My family is full of Cowboys fans, so I want a W. Let's go, man. Much better than that, man. You get to taunt your family all week if you're able to knock off the Cowboys. That'd be great. You got any Cowboys fans in your family? I feel like everybody's got Cowboys fans.
My uncle, one of my uncles is a
They're all over the place. They're like roaches, bad dog. They're everywhere.
Yeah, like I said, those roaches scurry back to their hole when they're bad up here. When they're good, they're all over the place. So we'll see.
Yeah, I got a couple of Cowboy friends. Christian, man, what's going on, man? What's going on, Chris of the Bad Dog? Good to see you, Christian, man. Thanks so much for being here, man. Not tonight, MVP. Not tonight, but on Sunday or tomorrow night, I'll have a couple of callers. I'm gonna have JD Sports on tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to that. I've had him on the channel before. He's on Knicks Fan TV. He's a really good guy, huge Giants fan. So he's gonna be on. Try to have a couple of other guests on, but yeah, I'll take a couple of video callers tomorrow. Nelson. This isn't the 2016 Giants who lost to Washington. I mean, 2016 went to the playoffs.
Yeah, they started off 2-0 and they lost. And I remember that. I remember that very well because we were up like 21-9 in that game. And the only reason I remember that is because the power went out here and I had to listen to the game on my phone. I don't know. The power went out in this area for hours and I had to listen to it on the phone. I couldn't watch it, which is bullshit.
Hey, listen, if we start 2-1 like that team did and finish 11-5 like that team did, I'm completely fine with it.
Yeah, I'm okay. But I want to win.
Of course I want to win. Donovan, man, thank you very much. Or 11-6, I should say. Donovan, man, thank you very much, man. Could be using the NFL clout to fuel his rap. I mean, that'd be stupid, but I hope not. Does he even get a lot of views? I don't even know. I don't follow his rap career. Does he get
I don't either.
Does he get a lot of downloads? Is it really worth it? I don't know. I have no idea. I doubt it. I think he should probably stick to football. Big move, man. Thank you very much, man. Bad, you calling the Yankees tomorrow? He is.
It is the plan. That is planned. Sorry, I'm yawning. I had a long day. I slept like crap last night. So I went upstairs. I did the stream. I talked to Law Nation afterwards, and my thermostat was out upstairs, and I could not find a battery. I don't want to wake my wife up. Could not find the battery. So it was cold up there. I was up like every hour. I was up at 8 o'clock. I went to the gym at 9, and then, like I said, I was at Oktoberfest. I must have walked 10 miles today at Oktoberfest. The amount of walking we had to do was ridiculous. And then I went to hibachi and ate way too much. And you do that. And my wife looks and she goes, "You think you never ate before?" I'm like, man, hibachi is freaking good. Steak, chicken, shrimp, pork fried rice. Give me a little cucumber roll, a Boston roll, some bacon wrapped shrimp, a Sapporo, damn straight. Saturday night's my night.
I haven't had hibachi in years. Now you get me hungry to go get some hibachi.
Oh, my kid loves it. Little bit. He's the one that suggests this. I went 2 weeks in a row because he loves the whole show.
Now, are you when you get the hibachi? Are you a sushi guy, or do you go?
That's what I was just saying. Now I've never been a sushi guy. My wife got a cucumber roll.
Yeah,
and she's like, "Try it." And I tried. I was like, "Wow, that's actually pretty good." She goes, "Oh my gosh." She goes, like, "Who are you? You eat sushi now?" Because I never liked onions either. And all of a sudden I started eating onions. I don't know why. Like, I don't really like raw onions, but even cooked, I would always avoid them. Now I eat them. I don't really care. I wouldn't say I like them, but I don't dislike them. I'll eat the onions if they're there. So I told her this week, I'm like, I want to try some other rolls. I'm like, I want to try a Boston roll, which is shrimp. Like, I don't like fish, so I'm not getting like tuna. I don't like that.
You're not a shrimp guy? You don't like shrimp?
Was it? No, shrimp I do.
Okay.
That's what a Boston roll is. A Boston roll,
okay.
I think, shrimp, avocado, and
cream cheese. Don't they have cream cheese?
Yeah. The bacon wrapped shrimp was bacon wrapped shrimp with cream cheese and asparagus. Oh my God. So good. I'm like, the next time I come here, I'm getting that. so good. So yeah, shrimp is like the shrimp and believe it or not, clams. They're like the only
clams are great
seafood thing I'll eat. Like, I just don't like fish, but scallops, I could eat those. And I did want to try a California roll. We didn't get that because I'm like, I could probably try crab. I'm like, can't guarantee I'd like that, but it's not fishy. So when it's put up with other things, I'd probably maybe next time. But we're not going back for a while. It's expensive. So no.
I go with the steak hibachi when I go, but I haven't gone in years.
Yeah, like I said, I get the combo: steak, shrimp, and chicken. I'm get all the meat, all the protein.
and
I'm like, yeah, give it to me.
In Zane, I think Thibodeau might be a leader, but middle linebacker is something we desperately need. I'll say yes to. I mean, I don't know if Thibodeau's a leader yet. I hope he's a leader. He's definitely got the personality for it. And I think he's going to gravitate towards the cameras in New York. Make no mistake about that.
Yeah.
And hopefully grows into being a leader. As far as the middle linebacker, yeah, I mean, that's been a need of ours forever. Especially a coverage linebacker, man. That's been a huge need of ours forever. So I would say that's probably our second biggest need on the defense. I think corner's still our biggest need, but I would say that's probably the second biggest need on the defense going into next year. But yeah, no disagreements there, Nzani.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Kayvon Thibodeau play. I think that Giants fans have been waiting for that combination, and we're finally going to get to see it against Dallas. So I'm pumped. I mean, not only do I want to see Kayvon Thibodeau play, like I said, I know all Giants fans are excited to see what that guy can do because he was the consensus #1 pick of the draft. He slipped a little bit because of his injury. Now, of course, he gets injured, but we all saw what happened to him. This isn't a Kadarius Toney thing where it's like, oh, my hamstring hurts. Oh, I have a heavy flow day. My tampon, it got dislodged and I need a new tampon. Or, oh, I got cramping and I got my pec hurts. I'm lactating.
I'm telling you right now, Bad Dog, Tony's calling you out. It's going to happen.
With him. Call me out. Give me all the attention. Bring the smoke.
He is active on social media.
Good. Come on. Bring it on. Bring it on. Come on the show.
And amazing
that. Bring it on.
And
Chris and I some notoriety. We've been through hell for 5 years.
He's not scared. I'll tell you. Well, I think he's an idiot personally for doing that. He needs to stay off social media and stop going after fans. Doesn't look good.
It doesn't make sense.
He's got to stop. He's got to get
Who
off.
gives a damn? People come after me all the time. Once in a while, I make an example of somebody in the chat, but somebody leaves some comment in my comment section. I'm just like, whatever. Yeah, it is what it is. So,
but Amazing Guy says, will Jalen Smith play? Why
not?
Will Jalen Smith play? I think I read they called him up from the practice squad today, or it was rumored that they're going to. I don't know if it officially came out. But we'll see. But he may play, but I don't think he's going to play a ton. It's his first game with the team, and like I said earlier, with Pollard in the game, I expect to see a lot more safe DBs out there than linebackers. So I do think he fits the scheme though, because he's kind of a blitzing middle linebacker, something that fits well with what Wink wants to do.
Yeah.
So he might be out there a little bit, but I don't think he's going to have like a huge.
I mean, it was his former team, so
yeah. Well, but you remember, Baddog, last year we signed him right before.
Yeah, he played pretty well for us.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and I think he only played like 2 games, but he played. He played against the Cowboys. We signed him right before the Cowboys game last year too. Let's see what we got. This the 1 year Gettleman traded down. He could have drafted Micah Parsons or Slater, but the Giants drafted Toney. Yeah, trade downs.
And we did end up with Evan Neal and Kayvon Thibodeau. So we got to see how those guys work out. It might have worked out for that, but yes, both Parsons and Slater are fantastic.
Yeah, it's bad luck that trade because it was great value. You ended up getting the 7th overall pick.
I guess you look at it this way, right? If we would have drafted Micah Parsons, we're taking Evan Neal, and if we would have drafted Rashawn Slater, we're taking
Kayvon Thibodeau. So yeah,
we could have had Parsons, and of course, if you have Micah Parsons, you're probably not
picking that early. You're probably not picking that early.
Right.
If you so you don't know. It's a catch,
It's a fallacy of the predetermined outcome.
It's all hypotheticals. Right. So, but yeah, what I will say, if you took Parsons, you're taking a tackle. Maybe you ended up with Cross. Maybe you're picking a little bit later, but you're taking a tackle. And if you drafted Slater, you're taking the best edge rusher.
They just showed Warren Moon on. I love Warren. Warren Moon was underrated. I loved Warren Moon, man.
Oh, he's great.
Yep.
Chris, man, thank you very much, man. Baddog is way smaller than Toney.
Yeah, I probably am bigger than him. I'm not bigger than. Oh,
you're definitely bigger than Toney.
Not bigger than a lot of NFL players, but I'm probably bigger than him. Not by much. I only weigh 165 pounds. I think I'm proportionately different.
Yeah,
but we're probably about the same size and weight. Honestly, just my proportions are a little different than him.
Yeah, Warren Moon was great.
I loved him authentic. I loved. Way too long for him to get in the Hall of Fame. I mean, the man was incredible in the CFL. Then he comes up. I loved that run and shoot that Houston used to run.
And that was the same offense that Gilbride brought that to Eli.
Yep. I loved watching him.
Yeah.
Play. He was fantastic.
But Warren Moon was great.
Moon was awesome. I gotta buy a Warren Moon rookie. I gotta stay off eBay, man. I gotta stay the hell off of there. Because there's so many cards I want. There's too many. There's too many cards. I used to just go with Hall of Fame rookies. Now I'm buying like PSA Hall of Famers. They don't need to be rookies in any sport.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with this.
I told you, I sold a lot of my. I kept like the cheapest Brady rookie that I own. I sold all the other ones. Now I'm back to. Now I'm buying all Brady's later stuff after his rookie season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm buying all 2002 Topps Chrome, 2002 Bowman Chrome, 2003 Bowman Chrome. Like now I'm trying to get everything between like 2001 and 2007.
There you go. He's a collector.
I am a big sports card collector, yes.
Katrick, man, thank you very much, man. Best duo, maybe Kayvon and Aziz are better. Probably not. We appreciate it, Katrick, man. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you, sir.
Fan Fest, great supporter. I saw somebody in the chat say that Cunningham threw the best spiral. Cunningham was great.
I loved Randall too. Even though he's an Eagle,
the best spiral is probably Dan Marino. Like
Marino was sick.
Probably Dan Marino. Cunningham was great, but he was a dual threat. He was doing.
I tell you, man, those '80s quarterback. I grew up at a great time. Like '80s football was so good. I get that it wasn't as high scoring and it was more of a running league, and you could play defense, and it's obviously more exciting to see guys like Tyreek Hill, go 80 yards. It's exciting. But, man, there was exciting plays back then. You think about the 80s. You had Montana. You had Marino. You had Warren Moon. You had Randall Cunningham. You had a lot of really good quarterbacks back then. Sims was a really good quarterback. What's that?
Jim Kelly. I don't know if you mentioned.
Yeah,
him.
Jim Kelly. Yep, he was a really good quarterback. So
Steve Young.
Yep. Well, Young came a little. He was more of a '90s guy because he
Yeah,
sat
it was an 80s, 90s,
90s.
90s era I'm talking. But yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was good. Bernie Kosar was a good quarterback. Boomer Esiason was a pretty good quarterback. I mean, they weren't great, but they were good. Kenny Anderson, he was a 70 guy. Kenny Anderson belongs in the Hall of Fame. It's tragedy that he's not. I don't know how the hell Kenny Anderson's not in the Hall of Fame. I'm not a Bengals fan. I don't know if Dashy's in the chat. I haven't really looked over there today, but if Dashy is, I'll tell you, he's a Bengals fan. I think any Bengals fan will tell you Kenny Anderson should be in the Hall of Fame. Elway, yes. How the hell do I forget
John mention John Elway?
I mean, you can mention that 83 class. Even Kenny O'Brien was a pretty good.
I'm going to tell you right now, Baddog, the toughest quarterback I've ever seen is Steve McNair. I'll say that till the day I die. Steve McNair is the toughest quarterback I've ever seen. That guy played with broken bones week to week. He was tough. Ben Roethlisberger's tough. But John Elway was freaking tough. And the signature play for John Elway for me, it's got to be the helicopter.
Oh, of course.
Got to be the helicopter run against the Packers.
Of course.
Dude,
absolutely.
He put his body on the line.
He wanted that Super Bowl, man.
He was like 40 years old. He said, I don't care. I want the ring. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get the ring.
Yeah, they got two of them.
John Elway was
Elway was a beast.
He was tough, man.
There's no doubt about it.
And he had more mobility than people gave him credit for. He was great, John Elway. Yeah, I actually got to meet John Elway in person when I was younger in Vegas. I got to meet him, but yeah, man, he was incredible.
Yeah, Sims is a tough son of a bitch too, man. I know Sims got hurt a lot, especially at the beginning of his career, but another tough guy. Yeah, they tougher in the 80s, man. The rules were not the way they are today. You could actually hit the quarterback. You could do those things. You still could never lead with your helmet. They still would call you for that, but not like today. I mean, you breathe on the quarterback and they throw a flag. So, it was a different game. But the 80s, I say it all the time. If you're my age or older and you remember CBS 4 o'clock, Madden and Summerall calling an NFC East battle. It was who the hell didn't want to listen to that? That was amazing. It didn't matter if it was a Giants-Cowboys, Cowboys-Eagles, Washington Giants. It didn't matter. They were all so good. And CBS's intro was the best when they had that music and then Pat Summerall narrating, everything that had gone on for the season. I just love that. It gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Kylie says Eli Manning was the toughest NFC Championship guy. He was up there. I'm not, he was up there.
That's his signature game.
I'm gonna put McNair above him because McNair. I mean, I'm telling you, that guy.
I'll tell you another tough guy, and I know Giants fans. Not a Giants fan favorite. Tony Romo was a tough son of a bitch.
Tony Romo was tough.
Tony Romo was tough. Tony Romo was playing with a punctured lung one game.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah. But Eli. Like he literally played every week. He didn't miss a game. So and he played through plantar fasciitis. He was tough.
Manning was tough.
Yeah,
Brett Favre was tough.
Brett
Favre's in some trouble.
Yeah,
but I don't know what's gonna happen. Brett Favre's in trouble. But he was tough.
Let's see what we got here. Oklahoma. Yeah, we heard it earlier. Spaz. Jeremy says if you went over the middle. When Lott was in the backfield, Rodney Lott. Didn't he play with like a broken finger or something like that?
So the thing is, they said that he could have surgery on his pinky finger, but he'd have to miss the rest of the season, or they could amputate it and he'd miss like no games. He said cut the finger off.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have like the top of his pinky. He's take the finger off. I'm playing.
That guy was tough.
Ronnie Lott was one. I always say those are my favorite guys. That's why I like McKinney. I like the safeties that Atwater. I loved Steve Atwater. Steve Atwater crumbled Christian Okoye. Steve Atwater, Chuck Cecil, man, Rod Woodson. Those guys had knocked a taste out of your mouth. Myron Guyton, even for the Giants, that dude would kill you if you went across him. That's my type of football. That's why I'm like Madden. The boom, like this good hit weather. Like that was why I maybe it's because I grew up in that era. and it was a lot of defense.
Let's name a couple other great safeties: Ed Reed, John Lynch, Troy Polamalu.
Yeah,
those are all great.
Polamalu was like a heat-seeking missile.
Troy Polamalu is one of my favorite players ever.
Yeah, he was.
I love Troy Polamalu, and Troy Polamalu was kind of, I felt like, at least a little bit ahead of his time. I felt like he would fit even better in today's defenses, where you ask guys to do multiple things, and he was kind of a guy that did everything. He moved all over the football field. Troy Polamalu was awesome. I love Troy Polamalu.
Yeah, he was really good. Like, I'm trying to think of other guys. Oh, I can tell you a guy for Cincinnati, and David Fulcher was another guy, man. That was a big dude that just crushed people. Joey Browner for the Vikings. Like, I always liked the safeties. They're my favorite. That's my favorite position. It's probably McKinney's like my favorite. I just like safeties, man. I always like those dudes.
Yeah. Let's see. We got Brett Favre's going. Yeah, Brett Favre's in trouble, man.
Yeah, Brett Favre's in trouble.
Jason Sehorn was a corner. I see people mention him. He was a corner. Bob Sanders.
He did. I mean, Sehorn started as a safety and then moved to corner. But yeah, he started as a safety. When I bought that jersey he was a corner in '97.
Bob Sanders was a great player with the Colts.
Yes, he was.
Dawkins.
He was always hurt, though.
Yeah.
I freaking hated Dawkins.
We don't mention Dawkins in this chat. We don't mention Dawkins in this chat.
But
he was great. He was great, but we don't mention him.
Hate him, though. One of my most hated players in the history of football.
Oh. But that's respect. When you hate a rival, that means he's good. But I hated him.
Yeah.
Don, man, thank you very much, man. Jack Tatum, Raiders safety, doesn't get any love for some reason, Don says.
Well, Tatum was before my time, but obviously he was a tough son of a bitch. I mean, those guys, way different. Jack Tatum hit you with that clothesline. You can't do that anymore. But yeah, you had guys like Tatum, Cliff Harris of the Cowboys. Mike Wagner had a little of that. Mel Blount with the Steelers, even though Blount was a cornerback. But yeah, I love Jack Tatum. Jack, those are my type of guys.
Yeah, I mentioned Ed Reed, actually, Kyle. You probably just didn't hear me, but I did mention Ed Reed.
Yeah.
Ed Reed was phenomenal. He was probably equally as important as Ray Lewis was to that defense. He was phenomenal, Ed Reed. But yeah, I did mention him.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got. Let's see. Sean Taylor, R.I.P. Yep.
Yeah.
Cam Chancellor. There's another.
Yeah, there's another guy that would kill you.
A Legion of Boom.
Remember the rumors of him coming to the Giants? And I was like, oh, please. Could use a Cam Chancellor. It just never happened. You know?
Yeah, I mean, we've had some decent safeties, but we haven't kept them around. I mean, I know you're not the biggest Collins fan, but we didn't keep him around. And then
he sucked. That's why we didn't keep him around. Ask Washington and gave that dude $84 million.
Definitely wasn't worth the money he got paid.
He's not even playing right now, right? He's not playing.
I don't think he is playing right now.
Yeah, because he stinks.
Yeah, he sucked in coverage.
He was talking about him coming back too. I'm like, yeah, we don't need that guy here. Sean
says, hey, did you guys talk about the inside linebacker of the Giants? Jalen Smith. Yeah,
we just talked about it.
Briefly, we did. Kenny Phillips, people are saying, yep, he had some injuries.
Yeah, I like Kenny Phillips a lot. I actually have a Kenny Phillips jersey, but he unfortunately had a knee injury, and that was kind of the end of him. Just like Terrell Thomas. I know he was a corner. I was a big fan of Terrell Thomas. And it sucks that he got hurt, you know. And obviously I was a huge fan of Sehorn. He was my favorite Giant back then. And I met Sehorn at training camp, and that guy was awesome. Man, he signed my program. He was just a good dude. And he tried to help the Giants any way they could because their offense was so lousy. In 1997, man, they lost to the Vikings because they had no offense. They said, well, Sehorn's dynamic. He's really fast. Let's have him return kicks. And tore his ACL in the preseason, and he was never the same.
And somebody, that's how the conversation started, Matthew. So yes, he was mentioned.
That is how it started, Ronnie Lott.
That's how it started, Ronnie Lott. That's when we started getting into the safety talk. So yeah, Ronnie Lott.
Another rookie card I could use.
Probably the toughest player ever, or among them.
I could fill a notebook with the amount of players that I want in my card collection.
Yeah. Yeah. Juke says Jesse Armstead, one of my favorite Giants ever. He is the best pick when if you factor in value in the history of the New York Giants franchise. Jesse Armstead was an 8th round pick. They don't even have 8 rounds anymore, bad dog.
No, they do not.
We got Jesse Armstead in the 8th round. And he was always second fiddle to Michael Strahan, but he was great for the New York Giants.
Yeah, I mean, that was, again, he was part of those 90s teams where Danny Cannell was a starting quarterback, and Kent Graham, our offense sucked. Tiki was there, but they weren't starting him. They were still using Rodney Hampton. So, yeah, I mean, Armstead was good. I think Armstead ended up with Washington at some point, and then we ended up with LeVar Arrington. They were very similar players.
Didn't work out there. He got hurt.
No.
Fred Robbins, really good defensive tackle for the Giants for a bit. Yeah.
The defensive tackle, I think, is under. I mean, obviously,
Alford,
Keith Hamilton.
Keith Hamilton was great.
Keith Hamilton was freaking awesome.
Yeah, he was.
He's a very underrated Giant.
He's probably the third best player in that defense.
Yeah, he was really good. Keith Hamilton was really good.
Yeah, Keith Hamilton was great. I would say Strahan was 1, Armstead was 2, Hamilton was 3.
And then, of course, Linval Joseph was a really good player for us. We let him walk away.
Yeah.
So
what about cornerbacks? We don't have many cornerbacks to talk about historically. Giants haven't had a lot of great cornerbacks.
No, we had Elvis Patterson. He was straight trash. I mean, we did get Everson Walls in 1990. He was pretty good. Mark Collins was a really good corner. I loved Mark Collins. I always thought Mark Collins had a really good job on Jerry Rice. So, yeah, I liked Mark Collins a lot. Jason Sehorn's probably the best corner.
Somebody said DRC. It was brief, but he was good. Obviously, Janoris Jenkins was great for 1 year.
Yeah, he was good for 1 year.
Jack Rabbit was actually probably for 1 year. I'm trying to think. Do you think that 1 year he was better than Sehorn at any point? He was really good that year, Jack Rabbit.
No. Sehorn in 97 was the best corner in the league. I don't think Janoris Jenkins was the best corner. He was really good, but I don't think he was the best corner.
Yeah.
Jason Sehorn was next level. Like, he was really good.
Corey Webster.
Like I said, I don't buy a lot of jerseys. I just don't. So to me, like, if I'm buying someone's jersey, it's because I think extremely highly of them. When I buy it. Now, sometimes people buy me jerseys and I end up with them. Not that I ever, say, oh, don't give me a jersey or anything, but that's why I have some jerseys like Shockey. Like, I wasn't an enormous Shockey guy, but someone bought me the jersey. But like Eli, of course, we're going to have an Eli jersey. Lawrence Taylor, of course, we're going to have an LT jersey. Victor Cruz. I did think very highly of Kenny Phillips. I bought that at training camp his rookie year.
I had a Shockey jersey too. I like Shockey.
McKinney, obviously. Saquon. I mean, Saquon, I got as a Christmas gift, but I asked for that because my father, she's like, my father wants to know what you want. I said Saquon.
I bought Saquon, I think 2 days after we drafted him.
Yeah.
I was excited.
I wanted the color rush jersey. And because like I said, my father-in-law was asking, why don't you go? He really wants the Saquon Barkley jersey. So that's what I ended up getting.
And Michael, man, thank you very much, man. Complete hypothetical, but I had high hopes for Chad Jones, the DB from LSU the Giants got in the 3rd round 10-ish years ago. Yeah,
I'll be honest, I don't even remember
him. I don't remember him. I'd have to look him up. I don't remember him.
I don't remember him.
Let me see. The name sounds semi-familiar, but
it would have been a Reese pick.
Chad Jones he was drafted by the Giants in the 3rd round of the 2010 draft. He was a former 9th round pick in baseball for the Reds in 2013. He played college football and baseball at LSU. And he only played in the NFL in 2010 and 2011. He was out of the league after that. So
I remember there was a couple. I mean, I can remember Clint Sintum. I thought he was going to be pretty good. I liked Wayne Gallman. I thought Gallman would be better, though.
Ramses Barden was a popular one that everybody thought could be good.
Yeah, Ramses Barden. He was a big.
That was after he lost Burris, and he was like 6'6".
Yeah.
That never worked out. Don, man, thank you very much, man. In the 08 draft, we could have drafted Deshaun Jackson in the 2nd round with Mario Manningham in the 3rd round, but we took Terrell Thomas, who got hurt.
Terrell Thomas was so good, though, man. It's just you can't ever know, a player's value or their injuries or whatever. It's just unfortunate. He had that knee problem. It never healed, which sucked. Because he was really good.
Yeah.
The last training camp that I went to for the Giants, or one of the last, was when they were giving away the T2 shirts, and he wasn't even practicing because he was hurt. That was the practice where Corey Webster said, "Yeah, I'll take a picture with you." And he's like, "I just got to go do something." He never came back, and then his career was over. So that's right.
The thing I remember about Djax, Djax was one of my most hated players.
Probably my most hated player of all
He
time.
might
right
be
up
my
there.
most hated player.
Right
Ever.
up there.
I hate Djax. But the one I think it was his rookie year with the Eagles, and I knew he was going to be good instantly. I didn't really follow him in college, but he was electric. I think like right away
as hell
in the Chip Kelly offense. But the one play that I always laugh at and I like to look back on was when he dropped the ball on the 1 yard line going into the end zone.
Yep.
I think they scored a touchdown on that drive anyway, but Deshaun Jackson was incredible. I mean, he
I think he was like Tyreek Hill before Tyreek Hill.
Yes, that's exactly
Well, that's what he was.
Big Daddy says Emlyn Tunnel. That's he's old.
Emlyn Tunnell, obviously, you go back to the 50s. Emlyn the Gremlin, second most interceptions of all time, 79, behind Paul Krause, about 81. He was a safety for the Vikings in the 70s. Well, actually came up with Washington drafted him, and he ended up making his name with the Vikings and playing in all those Super Bowls. But that's another. There's another rookie card I want is Emlyn Tunnell. It's a 51 Bowman, and they're pricey, so we can't buy everything that we want. I'd have to hit the Powerball, and if I did that, I'd buy a lot of cards, but it wouldn't be any fun because I could afford them all. I still couldn't afford them all.
Jook says, "You know who will never remember in 15 years, Daniel."
Oh, we'll remember him because we still remember Dave Brown, and that was 30 years ago.
We're definitely going to remember him.
We'll remember him.
We're definitely going to remember him.
I don't think you ever forget a Giants quarterback.
Yeah, the difference is in 15 years, people look back and say, "Oh, you were right about Daniel Jones," instead of fighting us all along the way if he doesn't work out.
With our initial 15 draft years, though, I'll be retired. So
I hope we're wrong, though. I hope he's an incredible year this year. But like you said, it don't matter. We're going to remember him. I remember Danny Cannell. I remember Dave Brown.
Kent Graham.
So I'll remember him.
Yep. Kerry Collins, Kurt Warner, Eli Manning, Phil Simms, Jeff Hostetler. I remember all of them.
Tyrone Wheatley. Oh, God. I was actually excited when we drafted Tyrone Wheatley.
A lot of people were excited. We got him out of Michigan. He sucked for us. Went to the Raiders.
Yeah.
It's pretty decent. But
Tyrone
Wheatley. Ron Dane is.
Don't even get me started on Ron Dane.
Freaking Ron Dane. He sucked. He sucked. He was so bad. So big, dude. Ran straight up and down. Couldn't get a yard.
You know what I wanted? I remember watching that draft as a kid with the Tyrone Wheatley pick. I think he went the pick right before us. And he didn't turn out to be very good. But I wanted him. I wanted J.J. Stokes, who ended up getting
the San Francisco 49ers.
49ers wide receiver. I think he went the pick before we took Tyrone Wheatley. That was the guy I wanted in that draft. But you're a kid. When you're a kid, you want to take receivers, running backs. But that was the guy I wanted in that draft.
I don't know. When I was a kid, they didn't make a big deal about the draft.
Yeah.
So long ago. And like I said, there was like 12 rounds. I don't even know if they televised the draft back in 1987. I don't know if they did. They probably did. I mean, you can probably find it on YouTube. I should look. I mean, they definitely did because there's, draft coverage of him announcing Phil Simms and everybody booing, and he comes back up to them and he looks at it again and he smiles. Pete Rozelle.
Yeah.
Giants draft quarterback Phil Simms, Morehead State. Boo! Boo! Roselle's like, yeah, that's exactly what it was. He kind of smiled, laughed.
Dust says, do you know Tuzar? Yeah, he was a Giant. I think he was initially a Steeler, actually, and then the Giants picked him up for
That's right.
For 3 or 4 games, but he didn't play much. He got a couple of snaps. He didn't play much. But I think he was. I know you were a Steelers fan, Dust Thunder. He was originally a Steeler, or maybe he went to the Steelers after. I can't remember. But I know he was a Steeler.
Someone said they didn't televise the draft. I didn't think they did. I don't remember. It certainly wasn't a big deal like it is now.
Maybe they did. I remember following that draft and hoping they were going to take J.J. Stokes. Maybe that wasn't televised. I can't even remember.
No, I'm thinking when I was a kid. I saw
that
wasn't televised. But in the 90s, it definitely was.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Because I remember Giants fans going crazy when we drafted Tyrone Wheatley. That was like 90. Was that 97, 98?
Late, maybe like 96,
somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Let's see.
We've had some pretty bad draft picks. Derek Brown, Notre Dame tight end. That one.
Cedric Jones is one of the worst.
Who?
I think his name was Cedric Jones, right? The defensive.
Oh, back. Cedric Jones.
He was like the fifth overall
pick. Yep.
96. 95 or 96. He was like the fifth overall pick. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go back and look at that draft real quick to see who we could have taken. I'm just curious off the top of my head.
'97. We got Tiki that year, so that was good.
The 96 draft was actually really good, if I recall, too. And we took Cedric freaking Jones. And it was an early pick. All right, so let me read off no, it was the Keyshawn draft. He wasn't very good, but Keyshawn, Kevin Hardy, Simeon Rice, Jonathan Ogden. Jonathan Ogden went 4th, maybe the greatest tackle ever. And then we took Cedric Jones.
Simeon Rice was a really good player, too.
Yeah, not a lot of great players after that, though. Oh, no, you got Marvin Harrison. He went 19th. He's a Hall of Famer. But yeah, Cedric Jones, 5th overall. That's one of our worst picks of all time. That's how horrible. And yes, he was legally blind in one eye, Ruben. I remember that actually. Now that you mention it, Mackay, man, thank you very much, man. He says Toney is a superstar, and we're using him as a gadget. And I hate to sound pessimistic, but I can't stand Jones. We will never win with him. But speaking of cornerbacks, Aaron Ross was good for us before the injury. He was solid. He was solid. I wouldn't say he was a guy that exceeded expectations, but he met them. He was a solid corner for the Giants.
Yeah, that was good. Reese did a good job in 07. I remember that. We got him from Texas, and yeah, he was pretty decent. As far as Toney goes, I don't think we're using him as a gadget. He can't get on the field. I mean, we're not using him at all because he doesn't play. So I do know Daniel Jones missed him last week. He was wide open, and Daniel Jones just didn't throw the ball to him. But I really don't know how the hell they use Kadarius Toney. Like
I said this, and I know Kadarius Toney is like one of the most loved players by portions of this fan base. So I try, I don't try to kill anybody. But I said this before the year started, and some people laughed at me. They asked me who's the most overrated player in the Giants going into the year, and I said Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it's because of this thought process. And I'm not saying he can't be really good. He has potential to be. But Kadarius Toney's done nothing in the NFL. He's had one great game against the Dallas Cowboys. But a lot of those yards came in garbage time when they were playing zone.
Then he threw a punch and got ejected.
He could be really good. I think he definitely has potential, but he is far away from being a superstar. Far away from being a superstar.
Yeah, he has superstar talent and potential,
star talent.
As I always say, try to pay your mortgage with potential, man. You can't. So,
Big Daddy, man, thank you very much, man. I remember when we drafted Don Looney.
Yeah. Big Daddy, we got a couple guys that are a little older than me. Big Daddy's older than me. Anthony Rotz is older than me. Your dad's older than me. We got a couple guys that are Ellie Lou's a little older than me.
By the way, Baddog, as we're talking about drafts, it's got me thinking, right? Listen to these Giants draft questions. Everybody, listen to what Ernie Accorsi did for this franchise. It's incredible when you go back and look at some of these drafts. The Giants draft we'll start with 2000. Let me look at 2003. 2003 we ended up getting William Joseph. He was okay, good defensive tackle. Osi Umenyiora in the 2nd round, 56th overall. David Deal in the 5th round, who ended up being an incredible offensive lineman for this team. And then you got David Tyree, who he was pretty important. Got him in the 6th round. Was a really good special teamer, of course, known for the catch. 2004. Obviously, the Eli draft. We trade up to get Eli. You got Chris Snee in the 2nd round. Jabril Wilson in the 5th round was solid. Derek Ward in the 7th round. 2005, they had 4 picks in 2005, Baddog. 4 picks.
Yeah, he hit on all of them.
4 picks, okay? Didn't have a 1st-round pick. This was his draft.
That was the one where Sean Merriman got picked up by the Chargers.
2nd round, Corey Webster, 43rd overall. 3rd round, Justin Tuck, 74th overall. 4th round, Brandon Jacobs, 110th overall.
Yep.
Come on.
The way you build a championship team.
And then he hits Kiwanuka in the next draft. That wasn't a great draft. Barry Cofield was decent, defensive tackle. And then in 2007, we all know that was a good draft the year we won the Super Bowl. So
that wasn't a course, that was
Reese. But that's where we built our championship.
That's how you do it. That's why we have to see what Shane and Dable do. I think they got off to a good start. I mean, Wanda Robinson's been hurt, but you're seeing all the guys out there. We're going to get to see Kayvon Thibodeau. Evan Neal's out there. Cordell Flott's playing. Dane Belton's playing. Daniel Bellinger had a touchdown. You've seen Micah McFadden, Azudu. They're all playing. Yeah. So, the fact that all these rookies are out there playing, that's what you build. That's what you do. And you fill your pieces. You fill the pieces and the holes with the free agent, but you can't build your team with free agents. So, again, it's early. I know we're 2-0, and I'm not getting ahead of myself. And I know we're not close to a finished product, but I still feel like they have the right pieces in place. I feel like we have those more modern analytical minds, and they know what they want. I think the fact that Shane and Dable came over together and they already worked together, they're on the same page, I think that gave the Giants a little bit of an advantage. And I do believe John Mara has given Joe Shane some autonomy. And I think that's what John Mara needed to do, was step back a little bit and say, you have the reins, you're the GM, you make the draft picks. If you pick your own scouts. He came in, he fired a couple of scouts. Those were Gettleman scouts. This year's draft were Gettleman scouts looking at the players, because Shane wasn't the GM here.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean they weren't looking at players for Buffalo, but, they weren't looking at needs for the Giants during the draft. So, when they were scouting players, rather. Obviously, Chris Mara getting demoted, that was big. So we'll see. We'll see how the year plays out. It's got off to a good start. Listen, I'm thrilled we're 2-0. We haven't been over 500 at any point in 5 years. The fact we're 2-0, beat a Titans team that, I still think they're pretty good. Listen, Buffalo is beating the hell out of everybody. They embarrassed the world champions.
Buffalo's the best team in football. It's not even
So
close.
I'm not going to get too like, Tennessee's absolutely terrible because Buffalo wiped the floor. I mean, Buffalo wiped their ass with the Rams. So the Rams are the champions. But Tennessee's not. Carolina's no good. Dallas without Dak, they don't scare me, and Chicago don't scare me. The games we can win, but they're games, like Chris said, we have lost in previous years. We would never beat those two teams the way those games played out. We would be 0-2 again last year if the things were all.
No. We don't win these games.
And we did that without Azeez Ojulari and Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah.
And with Martindale's defense has done a damn good job. So just imagine you get your two dynamic, ridiculously athletic pass rushers back this week against the Cooper Rush, who obviously doesn't have a ton of NFL experience. And it's going to give Wink Martindale a lot of other looks.
Backup left tackle.
A lot of options.
So, I think we're going to have opportunities on defense. That I absolutely think we're going to have opportunities this week on defense. Yeah. Michael, man, what's going on, man? Thank you so much again. He says, who's the one player in your years, so since I've been watching the Giants, that you wanted to work out more than anyone, and you kept giving them a chance after chance, not letting it sink in that he's just not that good?
That's a good question.
I'm not going to say Jones because I didn't think Jones was great when we drafted him, even though I want him to do good because he's the quarterback. So I keep wanting him to do good. So I'm giving him my opportunity, but I never believed in Jones. When I say believed, I never thought it was a great pick from the start. I never thought he was going to be an incredible quarterback.
For me, who it probably was, even though I was super hard on him, was Evan Ingram. I think I was just like, this guy, he's got all the tools, all the talent. Why the hell can't the Giants find a way to get him? Why can't he catch the ball? I'm like, if he just catch the ball. Yeah. So many mismatches that Evan Ingram could. I think Ingram was a guy that I was just like, man, I know this guy can be the real deal. Listen, I took Evan Ingram in my fantasy team this year. I told my buddy, because we run a fantasy team together, I'm like, look, I want Evan Ingram. He's like, and I'm serious. I'm like, Doug Peterson's offense, Trevor Lawrence. I'm like, I want Evan Ingram. Maybe a change. He had 7 catches last week. That was a guy I know for sure. The first guy I can think off the top of my head. I know there's others.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at past drafts as you're talking. But a lot of these guys turned out good. This is before we started drafting poorly. Nobody really from that draft I liked.
Ruben Randall, there's another one.
Ruben Randall's a good one.
Ruben Randall used to drive me insane because he'd have a game where he'd have 8 catches for 115 yards and 2 touchdowns. You're like, man, this guy's awesome. And then he disappeared for a month. Ruben Randall is definitely one of them guys.
Yeah, he's up there for me too. Ruben Randall's a good one. He like you said, so many key drops. Former second-round pick, I think he was.
Yeah, out of LSU. I loved Ruben. I thought that was a good pick, and he just
that's a good one.
Like I said, he's kind of like Daniel Jones. Like Daniel Jones have one game where it's like, man, he figured it out. Like he's gonna beast me. And then
what I like Baddog? He never really worked out to be much, but I always thought he could be a really good player, probably longer than I thought he should have been after looking over these drafts. And he wasn't like a first-round pick, but I always like B.J. Goodson.
Yeah.
I always like B.J. Goodson. I remember, I think it was his second year he played on Monday Night Football against the Cowboys. I think it was opening night, and he had like 13 tackles.
Yep.
And he was really active. And that was always a player I kind of gravitated towards and thought he could be more than what he became, what he ultimately became. I think we ended up trading him to the Packers.
Didn't he end up with the Bengals?
He might have ended up with the Bengals as well.
I know we traded him to the Packers, but
yeah, that was a guy I probably thought higher of than I should have, that I liked.
Yeah,
I'll go with him. But Ruben Randall's a really good one.
Yeah, Ruben freaking Randall.
Let's see what we got. Dennis, he says, Bad Dog. When are we trading arms together? In 2008, Eli had 6 games of 18 above. I'm sorry. I think you meant to say 16 games out of 18 above 200 yards passing, and just 4 games above 255 and 07 out of 20. Yeah, but here's the thing, Dennis, and I hope DJ's great. Those stats are meaningless to me because the 2008 New York Giants, they had the best rushing attack in football. So it was not beneficial for the New York Giants to try to air the ball out. They had earth, wind, and fire. They had Brandon Jacobs. They had Derek Ward. So they were able to run the ball.
Yeah, they had 2 1,000-yard rushers that year. They averaged 160 yards a game on the ground, and
it was just the strength of the team. It wasn't because Eli was bad.
Yeah.
So that to me, I don't care how many yards a quarterback throws for. It's about coming up in the big moments. And so far, that's what I've credited Jones with this year. He has come up in the big moments, and hopefully it continues.
Yeah, it's all about winning. I mean, because the 2008 Giants, definitely one of the best teams I've ever seen in my life. They were top 5 in offense and defense that year. And I say this all the time. The Ravens hadn't allowed a team to rush for 100 yards for like 35 games in a row. And the Giants ran for like 240 against them and smashed them 30-10. Like that didn't happen.
Giants games of all time. We mention that all the time. One of my favorite.
And then against Carolina in the game we had to win to be the best team in the NFC that year, we ran for like 300 yards against those guys in that game. Derek Ward had a huge game.
That 2008 Giants team, and they were great on both sides of the line. The defensive line and the offensive line were incredible. But that offensive line it's not even close. That one singular year, that 2008 offensive line is by far the greatest Giants offensive line I've ever seen. It was even much better than the 2007 offensive line. That's how good it was that year. That 08, that was the MVP of the team. That 2008 offensive line was the MVP of the 08 Giants. And the defensive line was great too. Don't get it twisted. But that was the year they lost Strahan. They were still really good though, because Tuck took off that year. They had OC, but that offensive line they did whatever they wanted. The teams knew exactly what we were going to do. We did it anyway. But then once we lost Burris, it made things a little bit harder.
It did.
Lou, man, thank you very much, man. Remember when the Jets fans thought they were getting Dan Marino and Pete Rozelle said the Jets picked quarterback Ken O'Brien? You heard a collective, who? I don't remember it, but I obviously that's a very famous.
I don't remember that either because that was 83. What I do remember is the New York Giants select quarterback Daniel Jones when I thought we could have taken Josh Allen. I remember that. Defensive end Josh Allen.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But Ken O'Brien actually turned out to be a pretty good quarterback for the Jets.
He was pretty good.
It just so happens he was in that draft.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Jets offense back then was pretty good. I mean, you had Freeman McNeil and Johnny Hector. Freeman McNeil was a damn good running back. I think he led the league in rushing in 82 during the strike-shortened season. They had 2 really good wide receivers in Al Toon and Wesley Walker. They had the sack exchange, Gaston and Klecko. The Jets were pretty good in the 80s. Yeah, granted, he wasn't Marino. I can only imagine. I know the Jets and Dolphins had some memorable games against one another. O'Brien and Marino had some memorable games. The draft class of 83 is really good. I believe I want to say that was Jim. I think Kelly was in there. I know Elway was in there. Yeah. Elway was actually in the draft class of 82. Do you want to go to Baltimore? And he said, I'm going to go play for the Yankees. And then he declared himself eligible for the draft, kind of like Bo Jackson did. Bo Jackson didn't want to go to the Buccaneers, and he said, I'm going to go play for the Royals. And then he went back into the draft, and the Raiders got him. So, but yeah, he's a guy. I want to say it was O'Brien, Marino, Kelly, and Elway. I want to think that
it was. Elway was
4 guys in 80s.
Elway was in that class. So I saw somebody in the chat just briefly as I was looking over the chat ask who were the 5 members of the 2008 Giants offensive line. I think it was obviously O'Hara, Deal,
Snee.
And then you had McKenzie. I think was still on that team, and Soyber. I think those were the 5. Rich Seubert.
Yeah.
So that was a great offensive line. It was just, and the greatest thing about that offensive line, Bad Dog, is none of them were like thought to be like individual incredible players.
Yeah, none of those guys are first-round picks.
They just coexisted so well together as a unit. They grew together over the years.
That's what we gotta hope happens with this unit.
It was so good. It was such a good line. Irish man, thank you very much, man. George Blanda was a tough son of a bitch, quarterback and a kicker. Yeah. You're going way back. Calvin, man, thank you very much, man. Tana Parsons just tweeted a Michael Jordan flu game tweet. Thoughts? Oh, God, give me a break.
Keep your germs to yourself, Michael.
Give me a break. Give me a break.
And now, so now people are comparing Parsons LT, and now Parsons is comparing himself to Michael Jordan.
Yeah, give me a break. Give me a
break. Was he trying to say, oh, I'm sick? No, you're not. Shut up.
Jesus, man. Give me a break.
I go to work with a flu, too. Big deal.
Enough. Gee, he's acting like the guy's playing with a broken limb. Go out and play.
You ain't Ronnie Lott, buddy. You didn't get your finger cut off.
And Duran, man, thank you very much, man. Giants should have traded 2 or 3 first for Dion in '89. 4 years of LT and D. Oh, God, imagine that. And we've talked about they could have had Reggie White.
They could have had Reggie White. So I forgot what happened, but imagine
Reggie White and Martindale on the same defense. Oh, my God.
Can you imagine that? Would have been stupid.
Imagine that. My God.
Can you imagine what the hell that would have been?
That would have been the greatest defense of all time.
Yeah.
Literally.
I would have put the steel curtain to shame.
85 Bears, goodbye. 2000 Ravens, goodbye.
Yeah, steel curtain, goodbye.
Yeah, come on, man. You're not topping that.
No.
And Andrew, man, thank you very much, man, for the $2 donation. I appreciate it, man. LA Lou says, Bad Dog, Tommy Canley got the save for the Dodgers.
I'm glad Tommy's back. Well, he's the kid from Shaker. He's the one I met from Latham, New York. Played for the Yankees. They lost him in the Rule 5, went to Colorado, then the White Sox, and the Yankees got him back. So I'm glad he's had elbow problems, but I'm happy for him.
And thank you so much, man, Pete the Skeet, man. He said, I know I'm not active in the chat, but I'm always keeping up. I appreciate the work both you guys do. Put in outside of work. So I just have to. I appreciate it, Pete, man. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, Pete.
And man, we see you, man. You come in every now and again. I see you on Twitter too, I think. But thank you so much, Pete, man. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
And Charles Barkley says, come on, Chris. After DJ beat Tampa in comeback fashion, he did the whole fan base. I did not. I was excited in the moment, but I did not think he was a Pro Bowler. I was obviously more encouraged by him off that game, but I was not fully bought in. I was not.
Yeah, he still had a couple of turnovers in that game. The way he played, I'm like, well, that's what they must have seen.
He was a rookie, though.
Then he completely regressed.
No, I mean, listen, Jones has potential. What I'll say about what I thought about Jones in his rookie year, I was expecting Daniel Jones to play like Alex Smith. Based on everything I saw and read and heard, he did not play like that. He was the complete opposite of that, which I was happy about. I didn't want an Alex Smith. I wanted a guy that was going to go out there and try to make plays, and he did almost to a fault at times. And I don't think his stats were indicative how he played. I think he probably should have thrown 7 or 8 more picks that year, and he got lucky. There was a lot of dropped interceptions, but I was encouraged by his rookie year. But I was never completely sold on Daniel Jones.
Yeah, he also
I had a lot more hope for him, and I'm still not completely out on him. I'm still giving him an opportunity.
But he also fumbled 19 times.
Yeah, Mike, man, thank you very much, man. ESPN TV'd the draft in the late '80s. Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, they might have. I really remember the draft, kind of like them televising it in the '90s, but not so much the '80s. But then again, when I was 11, I wouldn't have been paying attention to the draft. The only guy I remember Brian Bosworth. I remember that being a big deal. I remember Bo Jackson being a big deal, but like overall, I don't really remember, like the draft at all. But I wouldn't have been paying attention when I was too young to really understand it.
Yeah. And Andrew, man, he says, Bad Dog Entertainer, you guys mean a lot to me. Thank you for everything. Thank you, man. Cheers. This shot with me. Have a great weekend. I'm buying liquor tomorrow because I'm gonna have it ready for Monday night because I'm doing a shot tomorrow at Monday night if we win. Stand up. I'll probably get the Jack and Honey, man, but I'm doing a shot if we win.
We keep it right here, right where it's been. We haven't moved anything down here at all. My silver play button still sitting here. My Laker dog hat is here. The scotch is here. Jesus is still in the corner.
You don't touch a thing.
No, the McKinney jersey hangs where it's hung.
I got to ask you a question, man, Doug. I got to ask you a question. Monday night is whiteout night.
Yeah.
Should I wear this jersey or do I have to stick with Barkley?
You have to stick with Barkley.
Have to.
No, listen, you can do whatever you want. I have to stick with McKinney.
Now, let me ask the chat. Because I'm very superstitious. Things have been working. Can I wear the Eli White jersey over the Saquon jersey? Or do I just go Saquon? Because I don't want to mess anything up. I don't want anybody at the end of the stream saying it was your fault, Chris.
That's what I'm saying. If you want to take the chance, you be my guest. I will. I'm making a protein shake and bringing it to work because I have a protein shake and pancakes. When normally I just have egg whites, but because I got sick that night, I just went with the protein shake because I'm like, it'll be better than eggs. I just felt like that'd be better for me, and the pancakes certainly would help. And so, yeah, they play Monday. So protein shakes, I'm going to make it either the night before and bring it to work and have pancakes instead of, I'm going to have protein shake instead of yogurt. And the McKinney jersey will come on. I'll wear my watch, although I never wear it at home, but I had it on the day. Everything's the same.
Majority of the chat saying stick with Barkley. I ain't even going to mess with it. It's working. I could wear the Saquon Barkley on top, but at that point, what's the point? It's not a whiteout at that point.
Right.
The whole
I mean, I have a Saquon Barkley color rush. I'm not wearing that.
You're rolling with the jersey that have been working. You got to roll with
yes, you asked on Twitter, what are your superstitions? And I told you, I really don't have any until the Giants give me one.
Yeah.
That's how that goes. I really don't.
I'm rolling.
But they've given me that now. I'm like, well, now I can't change.
I'm rolling. I want to partake in it. I want to be a part of the whiteout, even though I'm not there. I want to be a part of it, but you got to roll with what's been working, bad though.
Maybe I'll just bring this. I could always just put the Saquon Barkley jersey there or something, but I can't wear it.
And Michael says, 08 team beat the teams in the Super Bowl on the road. Yeah, both of them, Arizona and the Steelers, they beat on the road and convinced. Yep. They were the best team in football. It wasn't even.
They're the best team in football by far.
Yeah, it wasn't even close.
They started 11-1. I mean, they had a bad game against Cleveland. I still don't know how they lost that, but they did. Like I said, they smashed the Ravens that year.
Think about this, Bad Dog. If you include the 2007 season and the 2008 season for the first 12 games, after week 2, because we started off 0-2 in 2007, we then went on to win 10 out of our next 14 in the regular season, so 10-4. Then we won 4 straight playoff games, 14-4, and then we started 11-1, 25-5. We watched 30 Giants games over a 30-game stretch, and they won 25 of them, including a Super Bowl against the 18-0 Patriots.
And think about this, Giants fans. The last 5 years, it's been the complete opposite. We won like 5. We were like 5-25.
Yeah.
Until this year.
It's crazy.
It is.
And
that's why I get so pissed off, because I remember when they were the New York Football Giants. I remember when we had bragging rights and we were the best team. And if Burris don't shoot himself, we are a dynasty.
Yep.
We're a dynasty.
Let me ask you a question. There has never been a team in the history of the NFL that has won 3 straight Super Bowls. Nope. Ever.
Nope.
If Burris doesn't shoot himself, we might have had a shot to do that.
We would have had a shot. There's no doubt in my mind we win in 08. The Cardinals do not go to the Meadowlands and beat the Giants. Cardinals can never play in cold weather. So they do not. Remember, the Eagles had to travel to Arizona, and Arizona ended up beating them. Thank God. I was so happy. But they don't come there to us and beat them. And I think we could have beat the Steelers in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I do.
Oh, I think we would have won.
And then in 2009, we started 5-0, and then the defense completely fell apart.
Bus Thunder doesn't get it. Yeah, he's a Steelers fan. That's why he says, wait, why does him shooting himself change? The Giants team completely changed when Burris shot himself.
Because that was Eli's favorite target, and he destroyed the Eagles always. Burris had 10 touchdowns or something that year. I mean, Burris was great.
It also completely changed how defenses went up against us.
That's what I mean. There was no threat.
They put 8 in the box, and it made our run game less effective. The Giants that year destroyed teams. They were 11-1 the first 12 games. They finished the year 12-4. They went 1-3 the 3 games after Burris shot himself, and they nearly lost to the Panthers.
Won in overtime.
Because
one of their kicker missed a field goal.
Yeah, we almost went 0-4 the 4 games without Burris, and then of course we lost to the Eagles in the second round of the playoffs after we got the bye. So we absolutely would have won the Super Bowl.
Way different team. Dominic Hickson was not getting it done.
Yeah.
For us.
And Cody says, The guy who got Judge's 60th, got Judge's 60th, asked for nothing in return and got free tickets. What would you ask for? I'd probably try to get a signed jersey.
Well, Judge gave them signed bats and jerseys. I saw that. He did give them that.
I'm gonna be honest with you,
I'm not asking for anything.
Yeah, you're a Yankees fan, but I'm a Mets fan. I think I would sell the ball.
No, I would want to get. I mean, I'd want to meet him like they did. I'd want to give him the ball, and
that ball's probably not even worth that much anyway. It's not a record breaker.
No,
right?
But yeah, you're right. Depending on the player, absolutely. Yeah, I'm a Yankee fan. I'm not asking that from him.
If you be honest, if you caught Pete Alonso's 60-second home run, you might sell it.
He'd have to give me some money. Not a lot. Like, I wouldn't kill Pete Alonso, but say it was David Ortiz. Like, I caught his 500th home run, but he's paying through the nose. He's paying a lot. You're retiring me. That's what you're doing. Yep, I'll take $500,000. No? Okay. I'll keep it then. You don't need it. Facts.
But
that's what I mean. Depending on the player, that's my asking price. A Yankee, just here.
Yeah,
I just want to meet you. Here you go. Congratulations. Awesome.
Yeah.
Man, I don't hate the Mets. So, Alonso, yeah, probably like, hey, how about $50K?
Yeah, he'll give you that.
Yeah, how about 50,000, like an autograph bat or something. Good. People are like, oh, that ball doesn't belong to you. Sure it does. Sure it does. It doesn't belong to the player. He hit it out of the park. It's in my possession and now belongs to me.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. But
you paid for the ticket.
Paid for the ticket. Yeah.
Big Daddy, man, thank you very much, man. Nobody talks about John Mendenhall.
I wasn't. Speaking of John Mendenhall, we used to play poker years ago during the draft, and my buddy Tony, I don't know, he got so pissed off about Rashard Mendenhall, and I don't know why. Somebody said, "Well, Tony, what about Rashard Mendenhall?" And he just went off the deep end. I don't know why. I don't remember exactly what. And he's such a calm, chill guy. There was something about Mendenhall that just sent him over the edge. So every weekend we would watch football, we'd say, "Tony, what about Mendenhall though? What about Mendenhall?" And then he would just laugh. What about Mendenhall? He's a Lions fan, saying he's mad.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know much about. I just looked him up. He had 45 career sacks for the Giants. I know Rashard Mendenhall, the running back for the Steelers.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. The running back for the Steelers.
That's what I'm thinking of. But John Mendenhall, I don't know. Yeah, it's before my time. It's hard to.
But in 72 to 80.
The 70s Giants are horrible. So, I mean, same thing with Brad Van Pelt. Like a lot of people, Brad Van Pelt was a great linebacker from what I understand, but he was before my time. I don't remember Brad Van Pelt. I remember Carl Banks. I don't remember, and Harry Carson and LT and Andy Headed. And like, I remember all those guys, Gary Reasons, Pepper Johnson. Like I remember those guys. So
yeah, that's way before my time.
Yeah. You're a lot younger than me. I'm old.
Ayub says, like everyone on the team except DJ, he's playing.
Yeah.
I like everybody on the team. As long as they're Giants, I like them. That's
like I said, I just like I like the uniform. You're wearing the uniform. I got your back, but you suck. I'm gonna rip you a new one. That's the way it goes.
If you're a Giant, I'm rooting for you. I want you to go out there and play as good as you possibly can.
Yep.
Yazpaz says we can start 4-0. We definitely can. I mean, you have to be Yaz. I mean, let's be real. Again, I don't think it's more than 50% because you're asking them to win 2 in a row, but there's definitely a strong possibility we could start 4-0 because we're favored this week. We're going to be favored next week. So, and we're at home, and it's going to be our 3rd straight home game.
Yes.
It gets tough, like you said. Then we could lose 2 in a row. Then win. I don't think we're going to win 4 straight after that. I do see a 4-game window where we should win at least 2, but the Lions look a lot better than I thought they would. They look good so far. They've put up over 80 points in 2 weeks. Jaguars, you figure Trevor Lawrence will be getting better by then. I'm not saying we can't win those games. We can, but I'm not looking at them as like forward locks at all. The Texans we should beat, and the Seahawks I think we should beat. But let's get there first. Let's get the
one at a time.
Let's get the 3-0 first.
3-0. Definitely get the 3-0.
Coach the man, thank you very much, man. Going to the Monday Night Football game, going to see the Giants versus the Cowboys for the first time live. Go G-Men. You guys do. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I have to say, and I'm guessing Costa is Greek. That last name has to be a Greek last name. Because I know when I do the Lakers, I get some guys from Greece and they have last names. So I don't even try to pronounce them because I am going to destroy that. But that looks like a Greek name. I could be wrong, but I'm thinking
You like Greek food?
I have never had Greek food.
What?
What's Greek food? What is
Wait,
it?
wait. We talk about food all the time.
I know. I don't know what.
You've never had Greek food?
What is it? Give me something that's Greek.
Gyro.
No, I've never had a gyro.
You've never had a gyro?
I've never had a gyro.
Hold on a second.
I've never had a gyro. They don't have gyros up here. I've never had a gyro. I've never had one.
Oh my goodness.
Is the falafel Greek?
I think so, yes.
Okay, I've had a falafel.
You've never had a gyro?
I've never had a gyro.
Wow. We got to get Baddog a gyro.
You got to give me a gyro. So what is in a gyro?
Usually lamb, but some kind of meat.
That's why I'm not eating lamb. No wonder I never had a gyro.
You don't like lamb?
Hell no. No lamb, no duck, no exotic meat. The only thing you're really going to get venison because my brother-in-law makes a kick-ass venison burger, but I never liked venison before. No lamb, no duck, no rabbit.
What about shawarma? You ever heard of shawarma?
No.
Oh, try shawarma. It's great. It's in the city.
What the hell is that?
You got shawarma trucks. They're great.
What the hell?
I don't know if it's Greek or if it's Turkish. I don't know. I'm going to look this up right now because you have to have a shawarma. Hold on.
I don't even know what that is. I've never even heard of it.
It's great.
We're upstate New York. We're like Daniel Jones. We're very bland.
Let's see.
We're very bland.
Shawarma is actually Middle Eastern food. Shawarma is a popular Middle Eastern meal that is made of marinated meat such as lamb, beef, and chicken. I've had it.
The beef and chicken's fine. Lamb, no, I'm not eating lamb.
It's great. You got to have shawarma, man.
I'm not eating lamb.
But Coach,
a little sleep for a guy? No. Yeah, do it.
But Coach, man, enjoy
a sheep. Well, they're different, but yeah.
And let's see what we got. Mike Gorge says draft was 20 rounds. ESPN was 17 rounds in 1980. That's crazy. They used to have that many rounds.
That's crazy. Build your whole team with that. Look, that was a great throw. Hispanics kid can play, man.
Yay, Cushman, my man. Baddog, what do you think of analytics?
What I think about what?
That's usually what Cushman and you argue about, right? Analytics?
No, when I remember arguing with Cushman, he's told me RBIs are meaningless.
Oh, is that what it was? Yeah.
That's what I was like, what are you talking about? No, analytics are useful if you use them right. The Yankee analytical department's the dumbest in baseball. So
that's what it was. It was RBIs. You guys.
It was RBIs. That was one. I'm like, how can you tell me RBIs are meaningless? How the hell did you score?
But good to see you, Cushman.
That was the thing. But that is a blast in the past.
Hope you're doing well. I see him on Twitter every now and again.
Yeah, we had Ethan. We had Sperm Cell. We had Chris Senior.
Yeah, Senior still pops in.
They were all really young. Now they're like graduating high school.
Sperm Cell still pops in from time to time. Yeah. I think
Gavin, but yes. But they were around from the beginning, and like I said, they were like just starting high school. Now they're all out. Or they're seniors.
Actually, Sperm Cell, Gavin, he's in Hawaii now in college.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's going to college in Hawaii.
Yeah, he's got nice weather out there.
Yeah. But Ethan, man, thank you very much. He says, giving back a little back to the GOATs. You didn't have to do that, man. But thank you so much, man. And hope you're doing well, Cushman. Congratulations.
A long time, man. Hard to believe we've been doing this for 5 years. This is our 5th year doing this show.
Crazy.
Because my son was just born. Like this, it is crazy.
Crazy. Do you realize like we have molded America's youth?
That's really scary. That's really scary. I hope we haven't. I hope we haven't
either. Brody, thank you to remember, man. He says, Tana and V Diggity, how much more fun has streaming been already this season? Also, how many wins before we get an updated season record prediction? I'm gonna tell you this, Rudy, right now, and it's been a lot more fun. Winning is always more fun.
Oh, hell yeah. We haven't experienced it a lot.
I'm going to tell you this right now. If they win this week, I will update my record prediction. But I'm going to wait until Monday night.
I won't. And I'm just watching someone on Stanford just got a taunting flag. And I'm like, why do you do that? I'm not a Stanford fan. And I got money on Washington in this game anyway. I think they were a 7.5-point favorite. They're up by 10. Oh, it's a personal foul. They're calling targeting. I thought it was because of taunting. So I was like, why do people taunt though? It's so stupid.
And Musab says, would you rather win a Super Bowl but not make the playoffs for the next? I think I already know where this question is going. It's an easy answer for me, but let me continue to read. Would you rather win a Super Bowl but not make the playoffs for the next 9 years, or be a contender for the better part of a decade but never win a Super Bowl? Easy.
The first one. That's what we've
Option
been.
one.
That's what we are.
Yeah.
We won a Super Bowl, not been like a playoff contender for 9 years after. We made the playoffs once, but
Musab, before the Eagles won a Super Bowl in 2018 or 17, whatever year it was, ask them that same question. Would they have rather had what the Giants had or what they had? Because the Eagles were constantly competitors. They were always in the NFC title game under Andy Reid, always winning the division. They didn't win the big ring.
As the Cowboy fans,
I will take you play for the ring. You don't play to go to the Cowboys. Dak Prescott, he's always competing for the playoffs. What does it mean at the end of the day? You play for the ring. You give me the champ. I will take it. I will take 8 straight 0-16 seasons and 1 championship over 9 straight 10-win seasons and nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
Give me the ring. That's what I watch for.
Give me the jewelry.
Give me the jewelry.
The hardware.
And maybe you don't realize it if you're somebody that has not experienced a ring yet. But I'm going to tell you right now, Musab, if you have not, when they win, you'll understand where we're coming from.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, I used to maybe not realize it before I got to see the New York Giants win in 2008. There was no better feeling in the world when your team wins a championship.
Well, there's a couple, but that's right up.
Oh, when it comes to sports.
Yeah, when it comes to sports.
There's a couple. There's a couple. We're not going to get into that. This isn't an expert.
No, not this ain't a nonsense stream.
But no, you always take the championship. You always take the championship, Musab. Well, man, thank you very much, man. Dire Giants fan living in KC. It's been hard out here being so loyal. Looking at y'all makes me feel like I'm back home. Stand up. You got it, Will, man. Thank you so much, man.
And you will.
Wow,
That's what we're here for. That's what we try anyway.
That's got to be brutal, dude. He's got Pat Mahomes there. He's watching them celebrate every single week. Being a Giants got to be tough.
Yeah, well, at least he's not in Philadelphia or Dallas. That'd be really rough.
Yeah. And reality, man, thank you very much, man. OC Strahan 42, Chuck JPP 46, Aziz. Oh, he's adding up the numbers. Is that what you're doing? Aziz, I think that's what he's doing, right? No, because Strahan was 92. So no, he's not doing that. What is he doing? Strahan was 92, OC was 72.
I don't know.
Tuck was 91. JPP was, what was he again? 90. I can't even remember what number he was.
He was 90.
He was 90. Yeah. So Tuck was 91. JPP was 90. And Aziz was, so it's not a numbers thing.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what he's doing. What are you doing, reality? Oh, Super Bowls. Oh, okay. So OC and Strahan won Super Bowl 42. Tuck and JPP won Super Bowl 46. And Aziz and Kayvon Thibodeau win Super Bowl 57. From your lips to God's ears, man.
It'd be amazing if that happened.
From your lips to God's ears, man. I hope you're right, man.
No, me too.
I hope you're right, man. Should be a really fun duo, though, at the very least, to see grow over the course of the next couple of years. I should have picked up on that 42, 46, but I hope you're right, man. Sal, man, thank you very much, man. Is Kenny Golladay a Giant at the end of the season? Appreciate you too. At the end of this season, does he? I don't know what the question is. Are you asking? If you're asking, does he see the conclusion of this year? I'm going to say
yes. We can't get rid of him.
We can't.
But he does not see the field in 2023 as a
He's
Giant.
gone after this year. We're saving the $6 million. He's gone.
Agreed.
But I don't think. Yeah, I think he'll be
his cap hit. We're paying him $18 million. His cap hit's like $21 million. Dead cap's 21. His dead cap's more than his salary. So no, we're stuck with him this year.
Yeah, the worst thing I could see happen to Kenny Golladay this year is he's a locker room distraction. We put him on the practice squad, something like that. But that's it. Ayub, man, he says, Dahmer doc on Netflix is sick. Okay, let me write that down. Ayub,
I've never been much of a Jeffrey Dahmer guy. I'm a serial killer guy, no question.
Okay.
Never been a Jeffrey Dahmer guy though. Never.
I gotta get into a new show. By the way,
never really got into it. Like Ted Bundy, you give me a documentary on Ted Bundy, I'm watching. The Green River Killer, John Wayne Gacy, like those are guys I'm watching.
How was the new season of the
Cobra Kai?
Cobra Kai. How was it? I didn't see it yet.
You know, it's really good. I have to watch the last episode. I didn't get a chance to because I think I was watching football. My wife finished like the season without me, and twice I've tried to watch the last season, and then Little Bad Dog comes out, and I swear to God, whenever I'm watching that,
yeah,
he just loves to talk. I could be watching anything else, and
Yeah.
he does something else. But even if he's not talking to me, he's just talking to the tablet or whatever. I'm like, I have to wait for he's sleeping.
By the way, I know you're a huge horror fan, and I saw somebody just bring up Horror Nights, so it made me think of it. I got a great recommendation for you, and it just came out in theaters. You may not see it. It's actually a sequel and a prequel, rather, and the first one came out like a year ago, but they made both movies together. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I literally just saw it. It was really good. I'm trying to find it right now. I saw it in theaters with my friend who's a horror nut. Damn, this is pissing me off now. I can't find it. Let me go to Rotten Tomatoes. It'll pop right up.
I got a lot of horror movies over there.
What is it called? What is it called?
My man Afghanistan's a big horror movie fan, but
not X. X was the original. It was called X was the original. Somebody's gonna say it in the chat. No, not Black Phone. I saw Pearl. There it is, Pearl. I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it. I've actually been a little bit disappointed with some of the horror movies I've seen recently. I saw Barbarian. Didn't like it. I like Pearl a lot.
I'm such an old school horror guy, so I don't know.
Yeah. Stuff. Nick says, I love you guys' content. I'm sorry I work. No, thank you so much. We're going to end this soon.
Don't worry about that, bro. It's all good.
Yeah. But thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Anthony says, why is Tony Romo unable to answer a telephone? Answer, he can't find the receiver. There you go, Anthony. And Tommy B. DJ has 3 coaches in 5 years. We need to be fair. I mean, that's, yeah. He's definitely had his issues. Nobody denies that. He's not been dealt a fair hand. And Nick, man, thank you very much for the $2 donation, man. I appreciate it, man. Nick says, I always want to do a Giants trivia, you guys. Hey, maybe we'll do that in the offseason. Maybe we'll do a trivia stream one of these days. Prepare something fun for you guys. Maybe we'll do something like that.
Yeah.
And maybe I was wrong. I didn't see X word, and I liked it. That's just my recommendation. You may not agree with me, but I liked it. Will, man, thank you very much, man. God, it's horrible. Wife's from KC, but my son was born last Saturday. Congratulations, man.
Congratulations. That is awesome.
Nothing but Giants, Yankees, and Knicks gear will touch his body. Any other team bought for him will be trashed. Will's raising him right. Well, I'm a Met fan, but you're picking the right team with the Yankees. So you enjoy that, man. But, guys, we are going to close it out. We went a little bit later. We started a little bit later than we normally do. I just want to say thank you to everybody. This was a really fun stream. We got into a little extra talk. We got into some shawarma talk, some gyro talk, some food talk. We got into some Giants past draft talk. We jumped around.
We did. Like House of Pain.
Like House of Pain. That's what always makes the show so fun.
How much fun is Monday going to be?
Monday's going to be a blast. Monday's going to be a blast. Matter of fact, Bad Dog, I may have to. And Nick, I'm going to get to that in 1 second. I may have to eat a gyro or a shawarma on stream. I may have to do it.
There you go. Well, I'll be eating my Nick's ice cream on stream. Facts.
Nick, man, thank you. He says, what do you guys think of Sills? I've been rooting for him since he got to the team. He finally made it. I mean, he was a guy I was really happy for. I mean, he's, like you said, he's been a guy that's been fighting to make this team for years and finally got the opportunity. And give Table credit, man. He said he was going to give the guys that he felt worked the hardest and looked the best in practice the opportunities, and he has. I don't think he's a great receiver, but I will say he made one of the biggest plays of the game last week on that big catch for about 20 yards when we got to the 41-yard line. That was a huge play, and even better throw.
He needed that because he had the offensive pass interference, and he had the one before the half where he ran back behind the freaking first down marker.
Yeah. Where he lost 2 yards when we had the first down. But yeah, I mean, listen, Sills he's a fun story, right? He's a fan favorite. He's a guy that fought to make the team, and hopefully he continues to help this team win some games. But he did make a big play last week.
Yep.
But guys, we're gonna close this out. Thank you to everybody. Appreciate all you guys. I will be live again tomorrow, like I do the night before every game. I'm gonna continue to do those. I'm very superstitious. It's been good luck. I'm gonna have a new guest on tomorrow, so looking forward to that. And then, of course, on Monday night, we're gonna be live on Bad Dog's channel. Game starts at like 8:15, so we'll probably live
probably half an hour before game. Like 7:45, probably.
Yeah, we'll go live about a half hour before the game. I know people are going to be amped up for it. Really looking forward to calling the game with all you guys.
Oh, God, yeah.
Always have so much fun in those streams. Definitely going over to Bad Dog's channel. Sub him up. If you haven't, I'm sure you have already, but if you haven't, do it.
Let's have some fun Monday.
But Bad Dog, man, close it out.
Yeah, you guys and girls, as always, it's awesome. I know Chris and I have done this for 5 years. The support's always overwhelming. It's greatly appreciated. And I kept saying, man, just wait until we're good. Well, we may not be good yet, according to a lot of the pundits, but we are 2-0. We are above 500 for the first time Chris and I have been doing this show. We are in first place. And if we beat Dallas's ass on Monday, how much fun is that going to be? So appreciate all you guys and girls. Enjoy the football tomorrow. And hopefully we see
What time do the Eagles play tomorrow? I didn't even look. What time do the Eagles play tomorrow?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm just curious. I'm not even going to be home for it. I'm going to a bar, but I think they play at 1, hopefully. I know they play Washington.
Yeah.
So hopefully
I'll have them on Fox because Washington's my local team and the Giants don't.
Yep. They're playing at 1 on Fox, 1 o'clock versus Washington.
I think the Eagles will kill them, but I mean, Carson Wentz against his old team, it'll be a fun one. So
he's like Bad Dog. No lamb touching my
hell no. No, Anthony. No. But on that note, for the Annotated Talking Sports, this is a Bad Day Dizzle. Enjoy the football tomorrow. Thank you, Jonathan. We appreciate that. And we go. Peace.